My phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing!
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Capping them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must've got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome for some more ECAC Valorant. I am Sepulins, that handsome man is Jag, and we are bringing you a banger of a game tonight. The University of Delaware going up against the University of Kentucky. Jag, what do we know about these teams before we jump in?
Well, they're both 4-2 going into this week, which means as we get closer and closer to playoffs, these matches are more and more important. Whether it's just qualifying or getting higher seeding, it all comes down to these last few weeks. And both teams, have not had the best last 2 weeks of games. Delaware, they're coming in 1-1, so at least they've been able to go, 0.5. But Kentucky, they are struggling as they go throughout the rest of the season. They are coming in after starting out 4-0 on a 2-game loss streak. So they're definitely looking to regain. Both teams looking to regroup. And both teams are sitting around an Immortal 1 average, so this should be a pretty close series, all things considered.
Absolutely, Jag. If we know one thing confidently going into this is that the struggle bus is full, and one of these teams will get to step off of it tonight. Their stop will be arriving later this evening, but who that is the question we are here to answer tonight. We know our first map, we know our second, we even know our third if we get there tonight, but we will be starting with Bind, one of my favorite, if not my favorite map in the game. I'm very excited to see this. Hopefully my girl Raze makes an appearance. We'll be following that up by, I thought it was Icebox. We have Haven marked for the time being. We'll figure that out in just a second. But the third map, that is Ascent. I know that. I know that's true. It is Ascent, going to be the tiebreaker if we get to that. And the second map is, in fact, Icebox. We are just going to have to fix that in a little bit. But I'm excited because Bind is the first map, Jag, and that right now is all we have to worry about.
Yeah, it has been confirmed by production that it is Haven, and I'm not super surprised about this, because, Icebox changes that happened in the recent patch, I think most teams just want to avoid that map if they can, because it has been completely changed between point A and point B, so I think as, the meta continues to change, as we've moved from Astro to Brimstone, why worry about more changes? I think the biggest thing this map pool tells me is when I was talking with Kentucky, they've really liked Icebox and Haven, so one of them is gone, but Haven was actually picked by Delaware, so they're probably feeling pretty happy about that. Delaware, they said, hey, we like all the maps except Fracture, and Fracture not going to be there, so I'm not really sure who has the advantage. Kentucky might have a slight advantage considering that Delaware picked it. I'm not really sure. Again, these two teams, from all things considered, seem pretty equal. And these are two teams that you and I have seen in the past in different tournaments or here at ECAC. But it's been quite a while. In fact, we have not seen them in 2022 yet.
Yeah, we have not seen them in 2022. So, Jag, the last time we saw them, Valorant felt like a whole new game at that point. A completely different game from what we're seeing right now. Like you said, Astra, as of right now, according to kind of the pros and whatnot, nerfed into oblivion, right? Brimstone kind of filling that position, becoming the new smokes on that position. And as we jump into this, there's two agents I'm looking to see here, Jag. It is Chamber, which we already see two hovering over, and it's my girl Raze, like I mentioned already. Anybody else, I feel like there's a little bit of wiggle room on who you choose to bring out otherwise.
Yeah, and although we talked a lot about Brimstone, Omen also did get buffed. I think Viper, didn't really get changed that much, so if we did see Icebox, which we wouldn't, yeah, exactly, she would still be there. But Astra, like you said, nerfed to the ground. I personally have thought that Brimstone is the better main smoker to have currently, but Omen, I wouldn't say is bad. I just think that Brimstone's, especially his utility, like overall, it's not just the smoke ability. He's definitely still not as universal as Astra would be. I would say Omen's a little bit more universal than him, but I'm thinking specifically his Stim Beacon. It has been a game changer. I think more teams have realized how to utilize it. Just put it down on the ground. It's like an AoE Empress. You get a a faster rate of fire, as I'm trying to say, and because of that, you can easily mow people down. It also lets you run around faster. So if you want to go for those quick takes, you can just throw one down on the ground and just go in 5-person strong.
Yeah, without a doubt. And Jag, there's actually a bug in the game right now with those Stim Beacons that really can't be exploited in a traditional competitive match because you need to have multiple Stim Beacons. But a player found out if you stack the Stim Beacons above an average character head height, but like, it drops down the radius kind of, if you stack them above the player heads, the speed boost stacks on them.
Ooh,
yeah, so it's this
cool.
weird little neat bug that people are abusing in customs, and then we were able to get that figured out, and it's just super goofy that somebody was able to identify that so early. Again, I doubt we're seeing that here because it's impossible to pull off in a comp match, but it's still something to keep in consideration. It's goofy.
Yeah, imagine if it was like OG Overwatch when there wasn't like hero limits or agent, like if an agent limit didn't exist where you could run more than one agent per side. That would be absolutely insane, and we won't see that, unfortunately. It has not been a part of the game whatsoever, but we will see two teams going head-to-head in just a moment. Delaware are going to be starting on the attack. And, besides, I believe, I guess the biggest difference we got there's going to be also the Jet versus Sky difference. So with the Sky, you have more of an initiator, you have the guiding light, you have the trailblazer, you can stun, you can go for the flashes, but you won't have that mobility that Jet has.
What a lineup. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know there was a hole in the ceiling. I don't play Sova. I'm not a lineup Larry. I am a duelist at heart, even though I'm bad at this game. But I didn't even know that was a possibility there from the side of UK's Sova early on. Excuse me, that was Delaware's Sova. But now, as we move into this, we're seeing a lot of patience for the time being, and I think patience is going to be the name of the game, at least at the beginning. Here we see a chamber already dismissed on the side of Delaware, stuck in a 5v4, but all that action on B site, I mean, it may be a fake here. Looks like we're going to see a real rotation around toward that A site, a 1-1 trade, leaving Kentucky in favor here in numbers of players. So definitely winnable for both sides, but in the pistol round, I mean, one more pistol can make or break a round.
You can, and as we know, you're not a big Sova player, you're not a big Sova fan, but those shock darts can do a lot of damage. 3v4, a little bit of damage on both sides. I think the biggest thing is you need your Brimstone to stay alive. I do believe they had the molly, so if you're able to molly the spike, they just can't defuse it, and ooh, that's a great opening pick, but it is traded.
The crosshair a little bit too low. They saw the right click. It actually came to fruition, but it wasn't up ahead, so didn't find the kill. Jamhand. No! No way, Jamhand! Just in the middle of the firefight, nobody there to stop him. He's going to be able to catch that out and give Kentucky their first round win. That's going to be huge, Jag, because according to statistics, that guarantees them the second one as well, unless Delaware really pulls out the stops.
Yeah, it's very likely they will be able to take the second round, then we go to the bonus, then it goes back to even. I feel like these first 3 rounds always kind of play out in a different order, and it's kind of the same result, just kind of how do you get there, but I mean, Delaware, really, it's just about can they get the spike down, can they get those extra credits, and can they take a few weapons out of the hands of Kentucky? If they can get rid of a few Spectres, maybe even hold on to a few Spectres, can really change the tide, maybe go for that crazy 1-1 scoreline that we don't see very often.
Oh! That is not a great way to start it, Jag. That is why, that is the Jet taking out Brown Balla early. Nagwen also going to be traded out on the side of Kentucky. Jamhand finds Relay, so we're looking at a 4v3, and this advantage goes so much further than the pistol round, right? Because not only does Kentucky have the fire rate advantage, they have the numbers advantage, and they want as many people on their team to survive as possible. Right now, they're looking to keep all 4 of these players alive. Twisted KP taking a bit of damage, but not nearly enough to seal the deal.
Yeah, and the fact that Delaware bought Sheriffs here, I'm really interested to see how much what their economy actually looks like.
Oh man. Twisted goofs the blast pack, but now Jag, we get to take a look at that econ. I think you've made a really good point here.
Yeah, okay, so everyone buy it. Looks like they can, but it will be Exotic, yeah, who is currently the top fragger at 2-2, having to go for light shields, which I don't think is going to be, you know, a game breaker by any means. You only got 1 Elam last time anyway, so Kentucky mostly got to keep what they had. But the fact that Kentucky did get to keep what they had means that although this should be a bonus round, this should be Delaware being able to get one on the board, it's not guaranteed. And that Jet, currently on the side of Kentucky, 4-0, looks like they were able to get a Vandal throughout all that. I think at the very end they were bought a Vandal by their teammate, or maybe they were able to spend some of their own. So that's really interesting. You're not going to be expecting this if you're Delaware to be met with at least 1 gun that's kind of equal firepower. Yeah,
and with what we've seen from this Jet already, that Vandal could absolutely tear it up, already holding showers. They can smell somebody's in there. They can smell the fear from the side of Delaware. This is Delaware's round to win. Statistically speaking, this is the round that Delaware is expected to walk away with, but we're going to have to wait and see if statistics live up today. I am no superstitious statistician myself, but now, you know, the numbers can absolutely go in anybody's favor. The first kill, Jag, is the one that's really going to control this momentum.
Yeah, so far Delaware has not had that luxury. They have been found on the worst end of that trade potential. Every time it seems like they're the ones falling first, and they haven't really found an entryway, which is really surprising considering the fact that they do have that Sky, so I'd expect the Guiding Light to come through. They try to, you know, use it on the point, maybe get some information, maybe get some blinds there, but since they're just holding, they're down to 43 seconds, and they've gotten really no leeway on this point. They do have 1 person roaming. There's the Guiding Light. There is going to be the Owl Drone, and that's going to be the Tether.
Oh my goodness. Nagman got some good taste in Gaia skins there. That's good. I have the exact same one and the exact same
30
color.
seconds
left. Not working out super well for them quite yet. They missed that first shot. They missed their headhunter as well. And we're actually seeing a hard rotation around on the A side. It's going to be a total bloodbath here. And Kentucky Jet so far just unkillable. Jack. Finally somebody is going to be able to put that Jet down. Wins 3 firefights back to back. And it is up to Exotic to do what feels impossible. And certainly is. UKY are going up 3-0.
Wow, that is not the result you expect. And we talked about, usually the same result, different ways to get there. This is not the result at all. 3 rounds, a huge thrifty round there from the bonus for Kentucky, and they are riding high. And again, this is the team that is coming in on a 2-game loss streak, so this momentum early on in map 1 going to be huge from their Jet on fire. Does get taken down, like you said, gets 3 kills before all is said and done, and now they have an Operator to their name. An Operator into what is a mostly save round from Delaware, only sidearms. And oh boy, Kentucky, I think they're going to go aggro this. I think they're going to try to play for that ult orb and just run out here into showers.
They're running up into showers. Going for the orb could be massive, but if they got a kill there, I mean, that could be huge as well. Can't wait to see now. Relay just gets in for free. They're too focused on the showers, Jack. The fire rate advantage still very much in favor of UKE. The trade does come through. Jet able to pick up 1, takes out 1 more. Looking for a collapse. Not able to line it up, but does find that 3rd. My God, Jack, who is this? This is incredible.
Yeah, they are playing out of their mind. I thought that was the collateral for sure. I saw them lined up like ducks in a row, and yet they still find the 2nd kill at the end. That's what all that matters. It's not as impressive, I guess, or not as cool to look at, but 3 kills once more. 10-1. This Jet is on a rampage thus far, 4-0. I think the biggest thing, though, is that Delaware, they still got a few elims, considering that it was only sidearms. Very nicely played. Now they get to buy themselves. The economy isn't down enough yet for Kentucky, where anyone couldn't rebuy. That fell. But you do see their Sova in particular, less than 2,000 credits. That's something to look out for if they lose this round, if they can buy full next time. And then Operators continues to do work.
Oh my goodness, and Wayan just so far tearing it up with this op. Just dives into showers, Jack. Faced first. Oh my! I'm in love with whoever this player is. A player after my own heart. Absolutely. I love Jet. I love the op, and they are giving us a master class on how to do both right here on Vine.
They are. It's a one-man show.
1 enemy remaining. Spike down B.
Magwen takes out Safadi there, and that could be huge. Lobster has to find something, but one chamber dismisses another, and all of a sudden, Jack, UKE are up 5-0 on Bind.
Yeah, I'm not sure, what they put in their cereal today. Just their milk and some vitamins, I guess. Say your prayers, Hulk Hogan, and all that good stuff. But as this timeout comes through, someone's got to say some prayers for Delaware because it has not been the start they have wanted. I think, for one, Willian, and I'm very sorry for mispronouncing that, has just been absolutely playing out of their mind thus far. 12-1-0, just finding final blows left, right, and center, has not been able to be stopped. This Operator has been even more immense than we could have imagined. I was so surprised by that Vandal buy, but it worked out, and here they are 2 rounds later, having won all of them. The thing is, Delaware's comp really should work, I feel. Like, they have great entry, but they're struggling really hard to get in. I mean, they've got Recon, they've got the Guiding Light, they've got the Silver Recon Bolt, they've got smokes from the Brimstone, and yet every time you see them rotate someone towards the site they're not going to, they get taken out, or when they finally try to approach, that person gets taken out. The rotations through sight have not been clean at all, and despite, mechanical skill, put that aside, just right now, their kind of organization of how they're approaching these points on attack is not working out.
And just Wayan so far has been, like you said, incredibly dominant. 1 death on the board, and that is immediately after winning 3 1v1s in a row without any break. It was 1, 2, 3, down and out. They finally go down to the 4th player there, and only player even close to double digits right now. Nobody's even pitching it. It is just Wayan large and in charge. Nagwen with an incredible flick, truly. Hofster has not been able, or Hofster has not been able to play the game quite yet. Wayan, the Seekers are out. Gonna have to get out of dodge, and here comes oh my goodness, the Showstopper! Right on to point. The op is going to be missed. The Showstopper will not find a darn tooth thing. Bramballa now picking up a double. The Operator is down, Jack, for the first time. Bramballa is going to be able to make some space. Another elimination here in favor of UKE. Jet goes down, but the chamber is ready to pick it up. Oh! That's a collat.
That's a headshot collat, and that was the Operator they get back. It's taken away. Delaware. I thought they were gonna get a collat themselves there. That round, it was looking good for Delaware. The fact that it was a thrifty and they were actually in a winnable situation. They had ultimates to use. They had 4 overall. They used 2. But I think the big miss there is that Relay fires a little bit too wide with the Showstopper. There were 2 people in Gardens. They couldn't hit either of them. I think they also mistimed it a little bit. When they first jumped out of hookah, they had the perfect timing. If they just fired it then. But they looked towards the point. They looked towards, I guess, the defender spawn side. And then, because of that, they missed out.
We're just sending it, Jag. Twisted gets a little too big for their britches, perhaps. Gets taken out pretty early on. It's not even a trade, unfortunately. The smokes on the site tell us that Delaware is looking to charge in, but as somebody is taken out by a shock dart, they'd already been kissed by that showstopper. The shock dart the next to take them out. It's a 4v4. Next Elim could absolutely dictate momentum here. Oh, that's it. That's a huge kill. Wayan is going to find one. Looks, misses the second shot, but doesn't fight a bullet of their own. Misses the third. Now to play a little bit safer because their location has been given away. Brambala taking down Jamhand, catches Exotic out the gate. It is a 4v1 and Relay. Oh, they have Spike. Great. I didn't realize they picked up. I was like, just doing Relay things. But no, has rotated around to that B site. Winning a 4v1 though, Jack. Going to be tough.
Yeah, it's a sprint. Not a marathon in this case because they don't have that much time on their side. They get one, they see another's there. They're not going to win that one. And again, it's not like Delaware is being shut out completely. They've been able to find elims here and there. They've been able to get a few spike plants, I believe. But for the most part, they're just getting out slayed right now is a term I'm going to borrow from Call of Duty. They're just losing the gun battles too much, and they're not building up their economy at all. You see, like, every other round, it's a save. Here's going to be one, for example. Before they had ultimates they could rely on, they're going to use the Tour de Force here. You already see it's been activated.
Yeah.
Hunter's Fury could work out, but it's really better to stop the defuse. So it's going to be a struggle. And, I mean, 7-0. Kentucky's already guaranteed they're going to have at least a lead going into halftime.
And that is all they could really ask for, right? I mean, with the way they're playing right now, there is absolutely a situation in which we are looking at a 12-0 half. It just feels like UKE has everything they need. If they lose this round, they've got enough econ to play 2 more without winning either of them before they can really worry about their economy once again. Delaware playing with scrap metal right now, trying to make the best of a really tough situation. They're going to find themselves in a weapons disadvantage, an ultimate disadvantage, and now a player disadvantage, which is immediately traded out. Hofstra picks up one with that Tour de Force. Can we see at least one more, Jag? That is going to be the question on everybody's mind. If they can give Delaware the numbers, not only will it be the first time it's happened in ages, but it can be something they capitalize off the back of. Hofstra taking out Brambala, picking up Twisted. It is a 3v2 in favor of Delaware. They should have a couple of rifles now as well.
Yeah, they should have a couple of weapons they were able to pick up off the ground, but they don't take over that high ground. Actually, they run all the way to the point, and now it's going to be Jamhand just trying their best.
Oh, their best is incredible, Jag. That paranoia picking up 2 of them was just disastrous. It is now a 1v1. Wayan, okay, I was going to say a weapon disadvantage here in close range, but the Blade Storm just there to seal the deal like never before. That gives UKE their 8th round win.
Am I looking at Ye here? Is this Ye on an ult account? What was that? I mean, that was just so smart. Immediately dashes in with a tailwind, goes up for the updraft, and just kind of sits there in per positioning. I think they missed one knife, but the other one a headshot, and then that's it. That is lights out. So even though Delaware continues to find situations where they're in this to win this, it's a thrifty round. They find themselves up 3-2. It's just the play from Kentucky. They're outplaying them a little bit with the rotation, and currently a lot with those gun battles. And that fight, and that term, it's, you know, you usually don't bring a knife to a gunfight, but those knives, they sting.
Yeah, I mean, Jag, everything we've seen from UKE is beautiful so far. Maybe she's born with it, maybe it's UKE. You know what I mean? They have just been kicking butt all day long, and they're looking to keep that track moving. Oh, Relay just dismissed by Jamhand. Now another elimination. Ground ball taken out by Wayan. Able to find another one, looking for a third, able to pick it up, give me a second, and now one player left. Safadi takes out Twisted in a bit of revenge, but 3v1, you've got the spike, you've got a dream, you've got 70 seconds.
And everyone's at B. If you ran to A, you actually might have a chance to at least get the plant, get a few extra credits in your bank, because right now you are just kind of overdrawing right now with these loans, and it is not working out in your favor. But instead, they're going to go to B, which is where almost everyone is. You do see that. Looks like there is one rotation from the Sova, but I believe with that smoke being placed down, they probably have a good idea of where this is going to come from. And you see right now, most of UK is on B long. They're getting the alt orb, which means Safadi should have some information, but will they catch someone out?
Oh, Wayan getting set up for Safadi to be in there where they are. That's a miss. Oh, Safadi got to be pretty upset about that, and even more so about that. This is taking out the operator, and it's immediately taken out by Nagwen there. I think that was kind of a suspicion that one person was in by the orb. They thought, oh, there's the jet. I don't have to check my left anymore, and that's what bites them. I mean, at the end of the day, checking corners, it goes a long way.
It really does, and unfortunately in that situation, you know that you're at a numbers disadvantage, so you kind of have to take the tunnel vision fight because you look around and then you're probably going to get opped in the face. So there you try to win one out, can't do much there. Again, still finding some elims. It was a 3v1 at the end, so this economy for Kentucky, although it is good, it's not as good as it could be. It's not flawless, but they have a 9-round lead, 9 rounds in. I mean, that's just absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, remarkable is kind of the only word I can think for. You know, the rounds haven't been flawless, but the scoreline certainly is. 9-0 in favor of UKY. We're seeing Delaware on another, maybe their 5th save round, Jag. We have seen a lot of these. Their econ just cannot dig itself out fast enough. I mean, even hitting double digits here for Kentucky is incredible, let alone the fact that they might take this all the way to 12.
It's possible. It's definitely possible they could get 12 rounds in a row. Oh,
I
William,
love the idea
careful.
to hold out the nade there. I think that's genius. You have to be super careful enough to kill you, but to hold it out, nobody would expect you to be holding that corner. It was just Wayan not expecting the double swing.
Yeah, so they get the tailwind out. They also get a lot of damage in, but they don't get the elim. And right now, I like this. They're split pushing. They don't get the first elim. Hobster's not able to get it done now. It's starting to fall apart.
Falls apart like dominoes, one by one. They will fall. Twisted gonna bite the bullet, but now the Seekers have to make up for a full 4th player. The recon pulled, wow, doing numbers there. Gets a lot of intel on where these players may be with Jam Hand rotating around to showers. Repositioning could have gone a long way, except for that. Seeker giving you away immediately, trying to prevent the plant. Now we have Louis bringing out that Hunter's Fury and no elimination, but I think a little bit of damage to be picked up. Brown going in deep for that Elim, the flash on the corner. Spotty trying to make the magic happen, but Jag with only 10 seconds left. They need this plant right here, right now, and they find it, keeping that timer up once again. 28 HP from Safadi. This could be the round, Jag. This could be Delaware's time to steal momentum back.
It should be at least a little bit of momentum, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. William, it looks like they're actually going to try to go in. See the healing come through. Sheriff and a Dream, 2v1.
Oh no, now they know where you are. Okay. A little bit of shake and bake there, a little bit of misdirection. The flash now in, completely blinded. Wayan is going to have to play it slower. Has it in the wrong spot. 18 HP, Jag. You are not getting out of this one. Not only does Wayan go down, Delaware puts their first round win on the board, and they have an operator to boot. This next round could be huge for them.
Yep, it's going to be, it needs to be. Honestly, they have to get something going here. One round is not enough to stop the snowball effect going into halftime. Because remember, if the score stays the way it is, I mean, I guess if UK gets 2 more rounds here, then all they need is the pistol in the round that comes after it. That is all they need to win the game. But if they get another one, they get 2 more, that's huge. That means that it can't be ended in the first 2 rounds. You might actually be able to battle back into this. So, round score-wise, you know, everything is on the line here. And while they might be able to take away the operator for a moment, or at least get one of their own, it's going to Safadi, which is generally not going to be your pick. Usually you want to put it on the chamber.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
But I mean, we'll have to see how this pays off because Williams still has one, even though they lost it in the last round.
Yeah, maybe Safadi, much like myself, is a bit of an option, right? I mean, I usually play agents to encourage that, my chamber, my jet, but I don't know, the brim can definitely work. At the end of the day, the operator's always the same gun. You know, it's just going to be that mobility to get out of an engagement that we're worried about. Relay now looking to clear probably left side of Hookah. Yep, going to get a lock on straight away, the TP out, but now they know they've at least cleared that corner of Hookah, which makes the engagement into Hookah much easier.
57 seconds left. Your Sky is injured, which is the only healer you have, but unlike Sage, they cannot heal themselves, so they have to be really careful. Also, your main source of engagement, you do have the Brimstone ultimate, so you could use it to try to clear out an area if you think they're there, or just use it to cause a distraction, cause it on point. Knockwood falls so low, I think they just got hit through the wall, that's the reason they lived there, and the hit's gonna be on.
Oh man, the blind smoke, spray and pray. But you knew somebody was rocking and rolling with you, right? Now, what? It went through his head, Jag! That should have been an insta-kill. Luckily enough, they still find the elimination, but they used 2 ultimates to do it. Not super fond of that idea, but it looks like it may be working out well. We talked about momentum, and I think Delaware, better late than never, has finally found their footing here on Bind. They're looking to put the second one away, and if they can find a third, the 9-3 curse goes crazy, Jag.
It does indeed. I've experienced it firsthand. I'm gonna be blinded, gonna have to use the tailwind, and now probably gonna have to hold on to this spawn site. Does anyone even try to contest this? I mean, why would you? I don't think you go for this, honestly, because
I don't either.
You're 5-person strong right now. Everyone gets to live. It's not going to be flawless because you don't get the final elim, but everyone gets to live. Your economy finally is stable enough, and yeah, I mean, everything's looking good for you right now. I just said it before, getting another round or 2 would be huge, and now they get 2. It means that it can't just be, you know, 2 more rounds after the half and it's done. It means there's going to be more for Kentucky to do, and all of a sudden, it seems like their gunplay is kind of falling by the wayside. They're not finding the shots they were before, and Delaware, they are finding some amazing openings, and even though they commit 2 ultimates there, neither of them really lead to the elim. The fact that they were able to get them out there and just go for it, they're finally making plays.
Right, and making plays is what it's all about. You've just got to run and gun a little bit harder than you thought you had to sometimes. That seems to be working out well for Delaware. I think, and I hate to say this, I don't want Delaware to take this as kind of a punch, but it feels like perhaps they entered this not as warmed up as UKE was, but now, you know, we're getting further and further into this. Things are coming out stronger and stronger. Now it's a 1-for-1 trade straight away. Twisted has to commit that nade early, but the flash comes through. That's going to be a fascinating trade. A lot of damage on both sides, but no eliminations quite yet. There's the bomb buddy. There's the shock dart, Jag. And Exotic will send Twisted to the graveyard. Now a 3v4 in favor of Delaware. This is their round to lose.
It really is. We saw Twisted go for that play before. The time worked out a little bit better, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Okay, so 3v3 spikes down, and they know exactly where it is. So this is really interesting now because Delaware, do they just take the fight to them? I think that's exactly what you see happening on the A site. I really want to see how that engagement goes. Relay, it's the angle, and all of a sudden, just like that, it's 9-3.
Just a flawless adaptation from Delaware so far, and I love to say that because I was terrified we were going to be looking at a 13-0 scoreline, but Delaware, as we jump into that at the end, the final moments of their offense, they really kick it up a notch. They put a couple rounds on the board, but Jag, this pistol round right here dictates essentially the remainder of this game.
Yeah, this pistol round, it's not going to be the end-all be-all because there's a 3-round buffer at least now. Kentucky needs 4 rounds to win total, but they get this one, and it kind of forces Delaware into a bind of, well, do we force spy here? It wouldn't be necessary. I didn't actually think about it when I said that, I swear. But it makes them consider, do we force spy to try to, you know, maybe catch them off guard, go for, like, stingers and specters. There will be a lot of questions if they lose this, but if they win this, they get their 4th round in a row. They don't have to worry about it because then they can give up the bonus or they can play for the bonus either or. They're still not in sudden death scenario where this map is going to be over in a heartbeat.
Yeah, like you said, not over in a heartbeat, but I'm not sure how many times this heart's going to beat before Ryan comes to an end. UKE, they are starting super strong, trying to go up and through showers, but Delaware able to really push them off at least for a couple of moments, able to buy themselves some times. They know at least somebody is hanging out in showers, and wow! Nag Wen, I mean, has given us some incredible flicks, but what a great shot on the relay. The trade does unfortunately come through, but it's not going to be what you're looking for. UKE, they have the health advantage by a notable margin. Delaware essentially has 3 players if we're looking at the health pool.
Yeah, and they do have the Sky, but I'm not sure if she bought her heal for this round. That's always, you know, one question. Do you go for more of the Guiding Light instead?
Right.
I don't see any heals coming through, so I don't think the overgrowth is there. Meanwhile, all this is happening, and this A site is being held down really a lot by the side of the defenders. It looks like UK, they are making noise on A, but the push is towards B. Hopster, though, has this corner.
Hopster has the download. What a good smoke from UKE. I love the intelligence there. That's a great place for a chamber to hide, and a rather common one, if we're being honest. Brown Balla now able to get in and onto site. Finds 1, finds 2! Blink and you miss it, Jag. 2 players now on the side of UKE are going to bite the dust. It's up to this Jet all over again, and you never save on a pistol round, my friends. I'm sure we all know that. Serves is taken offline. Wayun finds 1. Can you find 3 more? Unfortunately, the numbers just aren't in your favor. Takes out Brown Balla and gets taken out by Hopster. That is actually a really good way to lose a pistol round.
Yeah, they do get the spike plant, they do get some elims, but the way they approached the point really was confusing to me because they got in halfway and they never fully cleared it. They did not look. Yeah, they didn't look in the corner that they smoked off. They didn't actually look past the crate, and both areas, I mean, yeah, you let them get the plant, but then you immediately run in knowing that that person who planted the spike's going to be without their gun for just a few moments. So they ran in, took advantage of that, and Brown Balla really did ball out there, got, I think, 3 kills and all is said and done. So who needs an overgrowth when you can hit shots like that? Yeah,
I mean, who do you need to heal if there's nobody to do damage to your team? You know what I mean? It's all about which style of healer you're playing. It seems like Brown Balla trying to play the hyper-aggressive one. Nagwen once again going for the Headhunter exclusive, the armor and the 4 bullets. That's something we see very traditionally from Chambers in the early round. Spent a bullet already though, and I don't believe the bullet found purchase. So a little bit of damage down the drain makes it that much harder down the line. However, with Relay taking out Jamhand early, and Jamhand has been a real power player on the side of UKE, this could be a huge moment for Delaware.
Yeah, it seems like Delaware. It's looking pretty likely. They've got the weapons advantage. They've got the player advantage. They've got ultimate already. They already have Sky's ultimate. I don't think they're going to use it here.
Nope. Hard. Oh, Jag! Oh my goodness! Relay with the double pseudo triple there as Nagwen takes quite a bit of damage from that raise UDel, and wow, flawless round to boot. It's a shame that happens on round 2, right? Because now they're probably going to play a bonus, but this is the round where UKE has the weapons advantage, so now you're playing statistics.
Well, I mean, the good news is that they kept everything, right? I mean, yeah. I guess in some regards, if you had fallen there, then maybe you'd decide to just go for the force spy here, and then you try to, you know, kind of equal out like we saw from UK when they were in this position. But they will be able to buy equally next round, regardless of how this round goes. I feel like UK as well is struggling. It's kind of the same thing. Like, they're really struggling to get onto these sites, like Delaware was for most of their own attack.
Yeah, this is fascinating. We've got 2 defense-oriented teams. And who knows, maybe Delaware runs the absolute mile with this. I mean, Hobster, my goodness, man, really getting up close and personal. Nagwen is going to be able to find a double kill, so that is just a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Kentucky. First time in a long time they've had the numbers.
Yeah, and they got the spike, which is good. You see it's mostly a setup on A for Delaware, a little bit of rotation at B. Well, I believe Septilin's disconnected there, so I will continue to call the action. Oh, you're back. All right, go for it.
One. Okay, we're good. I'd much rather have that be a quick one than a long one. Either way, we're going to see Twisted KP come in as another numbers advantage for Kentucky. 42, but oh, as she goes down, that raise is going to fall. Relay taking a wee bit of damage, but not enough to write home about. Not quite yet. Jug, I'm worried because this chamber, I mean, gotta be, what, 5, 8 HP? If we're lucky, maybe 10, maybe double digits if we're having a good day.
Yeah, very, very weak, so it's really like 2 1/10 of a person, but they get the kill onto Relay. Now it's on his body. They do have a stim beacon, but they don't have their life. And it's a close one, though. It really is. Definitely. So even though, like, you talked about good losses, you know, we talked about how Kentucky had a good loss on that pistol. This is a good loss for Delaware here. They get 3 down, or 2 down, excuse me, 1 near almost down. And Jamhand, barely able to buy here. You're able to buy mostly fully, so I think this is going to be the most important round of the game thus far, because this is where both teams, I mean, either team loses. Their economy can't buy next round, so this will really set things in motion going forward. And UK, they're already at double digits. Didn't get there as fast as we thought they would, but 3 rounds away from a map win.
3 rounds away from a map win. We have to remember the time Delaware has won 5, UKE has won 1. So this could be a numbers game. We could go the extra distance, the extra mile, and see Delaware slowly clutch out 5 rounds per 1 that UKE brings to the table. Or UKE could really turn up the gas right now. They could really find an opportunity to strike. Get an early elim and just storm over top of Delaware. We've seen them try that a few times already, but even 1 elim in their favor can just rip Delaware apart.
Here.
Absolutely. I mean, Delaware, they're living on more than, like, I would say, limit of prayer. A few things, but they're down 1 person, down 2.
It's going to be a 3-for-1 trade. My goodness. You talked about this being an important round, Jag, and I think UKE just signed the death warrant for Delaware. It's going to be Hobster, sole survivor. What is that, a Phantom?
Phantom and a Dream. At least something to work with here, but I don't think they have the angle.
Ooh, the Phantom ain't gonna do it. Phantom gets turned into a ghost. Hobster falls, and now 11-5. UKE, they've got the numbers, they've got the weapons, they've got the ultimates. This is going to be a Herculean task, Jag, for Delaware to win.
In Delaware, here's the big question right now, because you know that you lose this, it goes to 12 rounds for Kentucky, which means at best you go to extra rounds and you win that way. That's your only win condition if you give up this 12th round. They have ultimates, so they could try to force the Showstopper, they could try to force the Seekers, they could force with Spectres, honestly, here, but I think this is a smart call not to do it.
Sure.
I think they're going to go for a very aggressive push up from both sides, try to find something out. At least they get some information from that guiding light. No ultimates just yet, though.
We're about to be in for a rude awakening. Goes for the orb and does not get that Headhunter back out in time. It's a shame, too. He had the crosshair in the right spot and everything. That's just a timing diff, something we see so often in Valorant. Twisted gonna be sending the nade in deep, trying to catch out somebody. They know someone's back there. The question is Brown Balla down to 10, make it 0 HP, Jag. I'm not sure how they took so much of that nade damage, but at the end of the day, they took it, and that's all that matters. Weehun is gonna be able to catch that as well. Twisted finds one, Nagwan finds another, and this is Delaware just getting ripped to shreds here in round 17.
Yeah, Safadi only has a share of 4 health. Everyone's running them down. They get one. That is all they find, and well, they do save on the side of Delaware. Was it worthwhile? Can they continue to stay alive? It's only map 1. At least another map guaranteed. They were able to battle. I think the biggest thing, it's not over until it's over, but the biggest thing is they were able to show some life in this one after just going down 9-0 at one point. But you see the momentum again has kind of shifted out of their favor. They've been able to stop Muyan from being as effective as they were previously, but I feel like Nagwan and Twisted really started to step up in the meantime.
And remind me, Jag, if you know off the top of your head, do you know whose map pick this was? Was this Kentucky's map choice?
You want to play? Let's play.
I can look at that really quickly. This was Delaware's map pick.
Wow. Unfortunate. I feel like more often than not in the world of Valorant, we see teams lose their own map pick. For some reason, I feel like we just cannot get away from that. But right now, I mean, Delaware picking this map to only go on, maybe get 13-5. That's a terrifying realization as they move into the next map, which would be Kentucky's pick.
Did get the first pick, though. That's the biggest thing. We saw that they tried to teleport into the background, or I guess into the defender side as the Omen, and didn't pay off. Trailblazers are going to give them information, and this is working out pretty well for Delaware.
Yeah, Hobster able to find another elimination. We're looking at a 5v3. Down but not out. Like you said, Jag, it is not over until it is absolutely over. You and I have cast a team come back from a 12-1 before. We have seen some insane things. A 12-5 turnaround would not be very surprising in the world of Valorant. Nagwan, goes to use the tour de force on the slow and misses. They're going to be really upset. We were observing them when that happened, but they've still got 4 more bullets in that chamber. Let's see how well they can make them work. Twisted, 58 HP. That could be big. If they can get Twisted out, that pretty much seals the deal for Delaware to win this, because Twisted has been, I mean, a star-studded duelist so far.
And he had the Tour de Force out. I mean, it couldn't go much more perfectly, but Nagwan's still alive. Doesn't check the corner, though. And it's looking like it's going to be almost flawless. Twisted, 27 HP. Doesn't have their gun out. Teleports, but I think they're just trying to save, maybe?
Yeah,
because,
I think so. Yeah. Oh! Fell for it, Relay. But the bullet there, that's going to be unfortunate. And Jag, I've got to say, that's the, I think, 3rd time that Brown Balla has just stood on B site and gotten at least a double kill. Like, UKY, they're just not checking corners, and I think Brown Balla is slowly but surely realizing that.
And that's an advantage of Sky, because you have the flashes, so you can just throw it in. But not only does she flash with the Guiding Light, it's it's better than a curveball in a lot of ways, because it gives you the sound cue where
anything
you
is
hit
better
it.
than a curveball at this point. Let's be
That's
honest.
very true. But it's one of the only abilities in the game that lets you know that someone's there.
Yeah.
That is like primarily going to be a flash. So there's just so much you can do as this guy, just kind of sit there, throw it out there, know someone's going to be coming your way, and then just hold that corner. That's no one there. That's the information.
And Hobsters. Oh, he gets Tour de Forced back into spawn there. That's going to be an unfortunate one. Already taken out, and this is Delaware's last stand, right? Every round will be until this map comes to a close. They find themselves at a 12-6 deficit. Like you said, Jack, win or lose, they showed signs of life, and that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, Relay on the flank. I don't think anyone's going to catch this out. This could be huge. They get the timing. That's 1. That's 2!
Spike down.
2 might turn into 3 with one hell of a nade, making an appearance now, trying to catch somebody out in market, and will do so. Relay takes out 4 with the help of Safadi, and all of a sudden, Jag, a round that felt bleak for Delaware literal seconds ago, all of a sudden has their name written in the winners column.
Yep, and Nagwan turns away at the last second, which is terrible for them. They could have been able to get one more, instead they fall. This is looking more and more winnable. It
really is.
7-12, 5 rounds away from overtime. I don't know what the buy's gonna look like. It looks like UK might have to save a little bit here. You just see 2 buys, but I expect that to go away, because Frankenstein buys, you and I talk about this all the time, not the way to go. You'd rather just give up a round and then go for a full buy next time, or just at least solidify your economy instead of trying to force here.
I think especially
maybe the plan
right
is.
Here. Because you can give up a round, right? Like, you're not going to lose if you lose this one. I think save your econ. I think you're spot on.
You can't lose in regulation either, so you got a little bit of time. I think the biggest thing here is, like, we have the Blade Storm we can buy next round, even though our economy is not looking great, so they're going to go for it here. But what really gets me worried about that is that you kind of start to feel a little bit of desperation. It's like, hey, we still have a 5-round lead. But what if momentum just completely turns on us again?
Momentum can turn at any given moment. Safadi, though, able to take momentum back in their favor. What a shot onto Wayun, taken off the board in the blink of an eye. Louis is taken out. Jam Hand catches Safadi out. The op wasn't even at the ready. Speaking of Jam Hand, the sole survivor on the side of Kentucky for another Jag. I'm going to say it, somewhat dominant round from Delaware. Dead. Oh, yeah. Check your corners, Kentucky. It will go a long way for you.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like, again,
I don't think they got the op. Oh, they did.
I don't
okay.
think.
They did.
Okay, again, who do they give it to, though? It looks like they're giving it to Safadi again, and I like this a lot more on defense because, you know, you can just kind of sit there as a Brimstone. I think the biggest thing is, like, Kentucky, they're not checking corners, they're not checking to make sure anyone's rotating behind them. They're just kind of taking over a point and hoping for the best, but they're not even fully taking over the point. And this is what I was worried about. I thought maybe they'd done the numbers better than we had, and they would have a bye here. They don't. Willian is forcing a Vandal. They're forcing a few other guns here. Like, this might just be 2 rounds given over to Delaware because of the Kami decision they made last time.
Yeah, exactly. Not only did they lose the last round, they might lose this one, and they're probably going to lose the next. It's a numbers game right now, Jag, and that puts us at a 3-round differential. And even if you are Delaware right now, even if you lose this 13-8, 13-9, you have brought this back. You have kept yourself in this series. They have really been stepping it up. This is the 9-3 curse happening before our very eyes. The Bulldog going to be able to pick up one. Louis take out Sirs, but Relay is there to catch it out. All of a sudden, Jam Hands on his lonesome once again.
Yeah, it seems like Jam Hands continues to be caught out. They do get one, but how many more times can they get the one shot to the head? Only a Sheriff goes for the fake. Everyone's collapsing on them.
Relay is critical HP, but the Wolf from behind able to take Jam Hand out. Oh my goodness, Jag. This has been a showboat of a performance from Delaware so far. Win or lose, they are giving us an absolute banger of a game, and I truly can't wait for the next map. I mean, this is going to be truly up in the air until the very end of this series. I no longer know which way it's going to go.
That's what we were expecting. That's what it looks like on paper with the rankings, with the season record, and then when Kentucky comes out of the gate getting that 9-0, like, well, maybe we were wrong. But now we're back in the camp of, yes, we were right. I think you kind of nailed it on the head earlier, because I saw Kentucky actually at one point, they were, practicing, they were scrimming or just going into custom games. I didn't see that from Delaware. Maybe, other things happen. They are college students. They are collegiate athletes, so school is still the most important thing. Maybe they just didn't have time to get everything ready before the game. But they woke up. Whatever it is, we can theorize as long as we want. But whatever has gotten them where they are right now, it's amazing. Relay in particular, they were the player I believe we were told to look out for on their side. Relay, as well as Exotic and Hofstra were the players we said to really have our eyes on. But Relay, with these flanks, has just been absolutely immaculate.
Yeah, these flanks from Relay have been amazing. And I feel like Raze isn't particularly a flank-style character, at least not here on Line. I think it works well on Split, but this ain't Split. And I think both these players really don't like Split. Both these teams, rather, I believe that was in the notes. So we're not seeing that tonight. But as we jump into this, already a player down on the side of Delaware. Hofstra gets caught out by Twisted KP and Jag. UKE are ready to wrap this up. It gets a lot closer than they want, but a win is a win no matter the numbers.
Yeah, it is a win, absolutely. And now we'll see what happens here. I think this is going to be the end. I think it should be the end here, but there is a showstopper.
Oh,
no show stops.
The show has been stopped, and all of a sudden, Jag, we are in a 2v2. Oh, but Safadi misses the one and arguably most crucial shot of the game, and that is going to be UKE walking away 13-9. We got to talk real quick. That was 9-3 at one point, and it goes all the way to 13-9. Even though we see a loss from Delaware there, that kept them in this series. That turned out so much better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was going to be a blowout. I mean, you had mentioned 12-0 at one point. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, does this stop, like, maybe to get around here and it's like 13-1 at the end of the day? Because there were opportunities for Delaware early on. And I think looking back, actually, although it's great that they came back, the fact that they could not take those opportunities into round wins, they weren't able to convert, they weren't able to shut down the Jet on their side for quite a bit of this game. That's going to be something that might haunt them in this series, especially if they end up losing it. Because, yeah, there's no doubt they definitely played incredible. They were finally able to get into the swing of things. Their gear started to get turning.
Right.
But if they had done that earlier on, I think that could have been a map win, and they'd be the ones one up. They wouldn't have to be going for the reverse sweep right now. So it's good that they finally got going, but can they keep it going into the next map? Because if they come out of the gate like they did last time, which was very kind of just slow and sluggish, this series is probably not going to go their way.
Yeah, and now is our time to steal away all their momentum because we are throwing it to a super short break. Actually, probably not super short. Honestly, guys, I'm going to eat dinner during this break, so maybe a couple minutes longer. Everybody use this time. Get up, get water, get a snack, eat dinner maybe. But come right back here for some more ECAC Valorant in just a couple of minutes. We'll see you soon.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing!
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, job that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, job that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing!
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back for some more ECAC Valorant. I am Septilance, joined by Jag once again, and we are jumping into Map 2 in just a moment here. Icebox, or no, Haven, it was replaced. It's Haven now. So this is going to be fascinating. Jag, I'm a little worried, though, if you are on the side of Delaware, because Haven is a jet map, and Wu Yun on the side of Kentucky just absolutely dominated a majority of the first half of Bind, which I really wouldn't consider a jet map. So to put them in their element, that really may heat things up.
Yeah, I think that Bind's definitely considered more of a raise map. Yeah, I think that here on Haven, there's just so much high ground you can jump up to as a jet with your updraft. There's going to be a lot of spots that maybe the other team won't be expecting. Delaware might not be looking for, and because of that, you might just find positional advantage. I think the one thing that Delaware does have going for them is that they were mostly the sneaky team, though. Last time they had great rotations for flanks, they had great corner holds, and generally Kentucky didn't catch them. So it's kind of like two things. Like, one, can Delaware shut down Woohyun again? Because they did do a great job of that as the later the game went. Like you said, first half, second half, a lot quieter. Still had a pretty respectable performance, but wasn't the sheer dominance that we saw. They were like 12-1 at one point, KD-wise, so absolutely put on a show. But then as Delaware were able to find their footing, not as much so going forward. And then for Kentucky, you have to check your corners. You have to be aware of where you are on the map and where an opponent might be. They could be anywhere at any time. That's the way this game works. Rotations will always be happening. So be on the lookout for corners and flanks, because last time there were a few rounds they lost because they just didn't look behind and then someone got a 3K.
I can think of at least 4 rounds off the top of my head where Kentucky lost because they did not check a corner. And Brown Balla in particular, in every corner they didn't check. Every time they skipped a corner, right there waiting for him was that Sky, just taking down 1, 2, I think 4 at one point. There were some incredible plays from them down the board. But Haven, a map with a lot more corners. There's 1 additional site on Haven. It's the only map in the game with 3 sites and a lot of op lines. We saw both these teams really enjoy bringing operators to the table. So I'm really excited to see what those operators are going to do, or how often we are going to see them. It looks like we're jumping into the map, or at least the agent select, in just a moment here. Jag, before we get there, anybody come to mind straight away? You're thinking Haven, let's see a blank.
I'm thinking Yeah, I'm thinking KO. I'm thinking maybe Arena. I feel like Reina's not as popular as she once was, but I feel like Reina could be kind of a good niche pick here. But you know what isn't a niche pick whatsoever, Septilence? Well, I'm about to tell you what isn't, because it is the Lenovo Legion Y25. Lenovo Legion knows you play to win. Stand out from the competition. You need equipment that matches the speed of your thoughts and actions. The Legion Y25 monitor delivers wins in the toughest, most critical situations. With extreme 1 ms response time to its insane 240 Hz refresh rate, the Legion Y25 doesn't just keep up, but does a lot more.
Jag, it is literally so insane that you would say that, because I was just thinking about how the Lenovo Legion is built for those engaged in vast multiplayer battles at the tournament level. The Legion Y25 offers a 24.5-inch FHD IPS panel with built-in NVIDIA G-Sync compatibility. The Legion Y25 monitor is available at Lenovo.com and other fine retailers. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. And what's not as crazy is this agent select. I would be very shocked. Oh my god, it's happening. Okay.
No way! On
Delaware.
Haven?
Yeah, we've seen
Select
Breach
your
be moved
agent.
more in. I feel like this is more of an EU-based composition. We've seen a lot of VCT, EMEA teams try to make this work on quite a few maps. But my kind of feeling is, why not just run Sky? I feel like Sky is just better overall. I mean, yes, she does have less damage abilities than the Breach does, but she has a heal, which I think is the big difference maker in that comp. But regardless of where they've locked in their comp, Kentucky, they have locked in their comp. And again, Kentucky will continue to run the Omen. I said Brimstone was better before, but that wasn't much of a factor in the end. In the last map here, I feel like Omen actually is the better choice, because Bind, there's no mid. Here, there's not only a mid, there's a third extra point.
Yeah, it's
being
not
able
just
to
mid.
when you can teleport around like that with your ultimate, you can do a lot of really unique plays.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Chuck. I think you've made some great observations there, and I am truly eager to see what Delaware is going to try to do with this Breach. I feel like the last time I saw Breach on Haven was maybe close to a year ago. I mean, there really was there was a time way back when where people were thinking, oh, he's definitely going to be viable here. Then he kind of got swapped out, and it looks like we're pulling him back in with some new changes in the game. So this could be great. It could be disastrous just as easily as it could be wonderful, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, usually we see him on Fracture, because that's his Fracture's got a very, unique map structure where a lot of flashes is really good.
Right here.
And we'll have to see how it works out here.
It's not going to be able to work out quite yet. We heard the Tremor make an appearance, but nobody was there to be caught by it. Oh, I love Bowie's gun! I love it! One of my favorites. That's one of my favorite skin sets in the game, and I will react like a child every time I see it. I think it's goofy. I love it. I love the moving ones. I don't have any. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about the UK esports. They are trying to make the magic happen early, rushing in. Exotic, I love that! Using the stim to get out, using it exclusively for the speed boost. I love that. That's such a unique play, one that we've not had the opportunity to see very often. And right now, looks like we're going to see a full-blown reset here, a rotate out. UKE, they're a little bit afraid to move into that A site.
Yeah, but you see that Delaware, despite losing some health on their Brim, they are very well aware of it, and Relay's got the Headhunter set up. Isn't a tap once, tap twice, tap 3 times. Finally gets it, but they get traded out.
Naguen Naguen hit the first shot. If that first chamber was able to do that originally, there would have not been a trade. It would have just been a 1 for none, but unfortunately that third shot costs them their lives. I guess best way to go out's with a 1-1 trade, right? If you can get anything more than that, of course it's great, but now somebody moving quick, able to find a flash, but okay, it is going to save them. Brown Ball's frenzy around that back half, keeping the dream alive. Bowie with the rotation up and through Garage. Could be huge. Jag, last map we talked a lot about Delaware's flanks. It looks like UKE might be trying to take a page out of their books here. Now, 2 more eliminations in favor of Kentucky. They're looking to wrap up this first round the same way they did on Bind, with a victory in their column.
Oh, that's 1, but it's not enough, and Naguen gets 4, almost, the ace to close it out. What a great start from Kentucky. And again, they do lose 3, but it doesn't really matter on a pistol round. That's the one round in particular, but it doesn't matter as long as you win, because you're gonna buy anyway. You actually might get more credits if you fall, and you get the spike plant. Yeah, so it kind of works out. Everyone gets a Spectre. Handshakes all around for that one. And that was just a really smart play. It almost didn't work out, especially if Relay had been able to get that 1 tap, like you said. I think that would have been disastrous, but the fact that they were able to get the trade, able to get point control despite losing someone, worked out really well for them.
We're going to bring up as well, and we'll do this during the next kind of between round, but nobody on the side of Delaware is playing the same agent. We're seeing a lot of repeats in agents, the Chamber of the Brimstone, but nobody's on the same role anymore. And we'll tackle that in just a minute, but I wanted to point that out as we move into this. Wu Hyun is trying to get a little bit of action down that A long, but it looks like Delaware really favors this A site. I mean, they've got, what, 3 on the A site right now? Maybe even more. Chamber on his lonesome there, all the way over on Steve, who is going to move in early, finding Exotic. Hopster not far behind, and this is just a devastating startup for Delaware. To be fair, they are supposed to lose this round, so it's nothing to write home about.
Yeah, again, how many guns can you take out? Only one so far. Bowie is weak, but Relay might get found out here by Twisted if the timing is right. But
Twisted has a really good flank.
Will they take damage here? They know exactly where he is.
Yeah, Relay half HP if we're lucky. The spray on the corner. You moved, and you missed a bunch of bullets because of it. Bowie's still there to clean it up. They knew exactly where Relay was at. No time to get out, and that was going to be UKE going up 2-0. Jag, this is Delaware's time to really clutch it out.
Yeah, so this is really interesting to me, what you mentioned before, because if I remember correctly, Exotic, I believe, was previously on the Sova. Safadi was the one on the Brimstone, and my guess is they probably moved this around because probably Safadi is the preferred player on Breach.
Right.
Hofster and Relay, you know, I think their movements make probably the most sense to me. Relay going to the pseudo duelist. I think the biggest thing is do they lose this round again, because they lost their bonus last time, and that was a big part of what started that snowball that led to that 9-0 lead at one point. And of course, Delaware, they did battle back, as we talked about plenty of times, made it a lot closer at the end. But I think that really, if they want to show that they like have learned or been able to, I wouldn't say learn from their mistakes, but be able to pick some like stuff up from that last game, they have to win this one right here.
They've got to win this one. They've got to change the story. The prophecy has foretold a loss for them here in round 3. Can they prevent that from happening? We're going to have to wait and see. This is really Delaware's time to shine. Like you said, Jack, it's all about patience, first elims, and gameplay. Relay finds one, traded out again. This Chamber cannot get a kill without giving his life for it. Brambala now completely alone on C site, but it looks like we're getting a rotation up, maybe around to B instead. No, excuse me, this is going all the way up and through Garage. I think we're going to get a hard collapse onto C site in just a moment.
And that's going to be the 0 point. Going to find out the Brimstone's there. Exotic got nothing to work with. Paranoia. Recon bolt destroyed.
Bowie goes in quick. Wukian is going to be there to catch it out immediately after as well. Brambala and Safadi biting the bullet. Jag, this feels like a repeat of
One enemy
unfortunately, Delaware, unless this Jet absolutely plays out of their mind, Hopster able to find Wukian, arguably their #1 opponent, taken down, but with a double fire on the corner, waiting for somebody to peek. UKE are going to walk away with that 3rd round.
The way they position that, one with them on the ground, the other one on the box, it's basically like, don't talk to my son or me ever again. I mean, they realize like, hey, like we've got the numbers, let's just peek this. They were lucky, you know, it wasn't coming from behind, because that could have been disastrous. But I think they had a pretty good idea of where that last person was, because they did get that elims. They knew exactly where they probably were going to be. They could have tried to rotate through Garage, they didn't. And like you said, it is going to be a repeat. And not only is it a repeat, it's a repeat again of the guns going the way to Kentucky, so they don't have to buy that much, which means everyone's economy is going to be looking real nice, even if they did lose this round, but they won't because they have the guns and Delaware does not.
I love the fact that we are seeing Delaware use these stim beacons almost exclusively for speed so far. Every time we've seen them come out, it has been for that little speed boost, and I think that is just goofy. I love that. Now Bowie sending in the nade early. That should do quite a number. Yeah, on the Hobster getting stuck in the corner. Only taking a bit of damage, but now they know exactly where that Jet is. They know she's at the very least on this A side. And here comes some flashes out early. That probably nailed quite a few on the side of Delaware.
Really just see if Kentucky decides to commit to this, because really they don't have to. They've moved everyone towards A. They could go to C. They could go to B. Nogwin's there on the flank if anyone tries to actually cross over into B. There's one there. Oh, they see the angle. 2 members very weak.
Yeah, Relay's got to be single digits. That might even be 1 HP. Honestly, that is just down to the bottom line there. Nogwin even able to make it out with their life as the team is going for a speed rotate onto C. Looks like they've got the speed advantage over the entirety of Delaware. They're going to get an early and force this into a 5-5 retake. However, we are basically looking at a 4-5 retake as that Chamber cannot take even a single bullet. You can't even breathe on him or he will fold like a lawn chair.
No command as well, so there's silence. Potential for that KO to be res if they fall. Now it's gone though, no res available.
Oh!
Hit 2.
It's just gonna be, a bloodbath. Jag, I don't think I'm fond of all 5 of them peeking the same angle like that. That was just a conga line of destruction.
Well, it opened up well. They got 2, but the problem is, you know, with the Sheriff, once you miss that initial shot, or, you know, once you fire more, it just starts to go haywire. That, like, you know, I'm trying to think of the way to say it. Basically, the alignment of where your shots actually will go from where you think it'll go just end up going completely mismanaged after you continue to shoot more and more through your 6 bullets. And I think that would have been a great plan for them to run up with those stim beacons. That's what they tried to do. I think that's why they use it for speed, but they did it at the wrong place. You don't want to do it on A short because you're going at a downhill angle. If you did it on A long, you actually would have been in a great position to maybe catch them off guard in the rotation.
UKE are playing the same hyper aggression we saw last time. Hobbs are going to go for what I always call kind of a round 2 corner. It's something you do once and then you try to bait it out later down the line, but I guess if you never did it at all, they certainly aren't familiar with checking that corner. An immediate trade. Hobster is going to fall as well. 4-4 on the line. Bowie, though, almost taking their first death. Currently, I think 9-0, maybe even 11-0. Critical condition, though. What a catch. Relay way deep into the back line there, into the attacker's spawn. However, I think he's about to get pincered.
Yeah, they will, but the rotation not quick enough. Ooh, they're getting... I think it's the reverse pincer.
It really is. This is the counter pincer. Did he just... Never mind. It's a 3v2 in favor of Delaware. First time in a long time. Jag, for them to put anything on the board before the number 9 in UKE's win column would be huge. It could be a huge pace changer. However, Woohyun gets in deep, able to take on Safadi. It is a triple pincer Jag all the way down the line. We're seeing the call out now. Woohyun's got... Oh, Exotic pinned down in that corner. It's up to Relay to save the Re-Day. And now the pressure is on a 1v1. This is Relay's time to shine. King of the flanks, if we've ever seen one. But with the way Woohyun's been playing so far, it's going to be a tough one to win. Dash back in with only 12 seconds left. You've got to try to win the firefight.
10 seconds left.
I think Relay's trying to time him out, trying to make sure he can't get to say it with the slow. Jag, that might do it.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be close.
I think they get. I don't think they get it. Yeah. It's
oh
just
my
goodness! It's the trademark.
That's slow.
The trademark, and you can't plan for something like that. You can't know that's what they're gonna do. But it was so smart.
And he saved.
So yeah, that was so smart by Relay. I mean, just playing for time, realizing, hey, like, there's no way they go to B because they know that they have the angle. Probably realize, like, hey, I have that trademark still at C, so they try to run through garage, which is the only route they can go through. They just won't have enough time. If that tailwind was available, maybe, just maybe, they would have been able to get the plant, but instead, Delaware able to get a ridiculous round win, but it's a round win nonetheless, and now they're finally on the board a lot quicker than they were last time.
A round win nonetheless indeed, Jag. As the wise men once said, we absolutely take those. And like you said, getting on the board way earlier. Oh, but what a loss to start things off. That's going to be their Brim going down early. They lose their smokes, they lose a gun, and they lose a player. UKE, they have a 5-4 advantage. They've got a Blade Storm at the ready and a Tour de Force in their back pocket. Delaware's going to have to play slow. They're going to have to let UKE push into them.
Both Blade Storms pop, so could be some knives out here. We'll see who can land them. Teleport available for the Omen champion. So I think it's the biggest thing right now. If you're Delaware, is thinking like, will they try to use this? Because yeah, it's 1% advantage, but that's really not like a ton to play off of. They've got no point presence, really, no point pressure for the most part. And you see, like, that's the problem. They get that default pick, but they don't know where to go after that. I think it's going to be a B. Pushes what it looks like. Probably going to plant it in a place that's visible for them to just play from window.
It seems like what UKE is trying to do is they're trying to play kind of a slower play style. They're trying to wait for Delaware to get impatient and then push into them. We've seen them do that a couple of times. That's a hunch. I'm not positive of that fact, but it seems like they're trying to bait out Delaware's impatience and try to capitalize off the back of it. They get a lot of presence on the B side, but unfortunately nobody really goes down on either side. We're still rocking with that 5-4 scoreline. However, Woohyun has to move and walks right into Safadi's line of fire. It's going to be 2 more down on the side of UKE. Jag. Delaware wins this 2 in a row. This is truly going to be momentum in their favor. It's going to be a 2v1. Spike defuse, though, feels all but possible. Twisted through the smoke. 1-tap headshots. Relay? No, Hobster missing a throw. Hobster needed to win that firefight. I think they were worried about the spike, but if you didn't win the fight, you weren't getting the spike. So at the end of the day, that kill needed to come first.
Yeah, I think, just to play devil's advocate, I don't think they had enough time to get off the spike at that point, and I think they're just like, maybe on a wing and a prayer, they'll miss. And it looks like Twisted might actually... I mean, they were missing with the Vandal, but then able to settle down, pull their maneuvers with the Classic, and they got the kill when it was needed most. So 2 rounds going down to the wire now. Much closer rounds earlier on Haven. that round, the fact that Delaware could not clutch it out, that's going to cost them economy-wise. They cannot buy here. Kentucky can. And I would like to see Kentucky play a little bit faster because it feels like, because it's Haven, they're like trying to play a bit slower, I guess because there's more ground to cover. But they have the weapons. They can just kind of take a point if they want to.
Yeah, without a doubt. Oh, all right. Brown Ball trying to get close enough to right click in the Classic, but unfortunately going to get taken out early. Wow, Bowie with some incredible reaction time there, honest. I mean, that was a great catch onto that breach in the brim. Not far behind either. Now, already, Jag, it feels like the round just started. We are staring a 5-2 in the face. Paranoia coming through. Not going to pick up much yet at the first elim. Or Bowie once again. That is a flawless round. UKE, they were like, we don't want these close rounds. We don't want Delaware to think they've got a chance here. We want to walk away with an aggressive lead, and they are trying to secure that.
And we gave them enough of a chance earlier on. Now we play for keeps, and I mean, one thing you got to talk about is how the series developed. Twisted in particular was a player that was really good last time, but Bowie, I think you mentioned them in, just previously. Like, they have really stepped up on this KO. Woohyun not finding the same success they did earlier on, still kind of struggling in comparison, but this KO has been absolutely on point. And the fact that they have another null command ready to go, he was only like 4 rounds ago? 2 in 7 rounds, that's very impressive.
Yeah, without a doubt. Impressive indeed. And okay, we've got the Nullify coming in here. The KO ultimate once again, second time in his half, making an early appearance in that. All but opens up Seaside entirely. Everybody from Delaware tucks tail to get out of dodge, try to keep their abilities online, and that's going to give UKE at least enough time to plant. Delaware forced into a retake, but they've got, I'd say, 2 solid ultimates to retake.
Yeah, Rolling Thunder, I think, is the biggest thing. If they're able to stun everyone up, that would be huge. But you see this rotation, now they've completely given up the point themselves as the attackers. They're trying to just play for long. That's 2 ultimates. It's not going to hit anyone as they're able to tether out of it.
Toaster is broken.
Relay pick up 1. Can they find another? Bowie has gone down only the 3rd time on Haven. On the right side of the kill feed. Nagwen playing C long and doing a great job at it. Oh my goodness, even better! Trying to turn 2 into 3. Not able to line it up yet, but there it is. That Tour de Force is a Tour de Force to be reckoned with. Nagwen taking out 4 to win the 7th round for UK Esports.
And it's just really unfortunate timing because the plan was there. I mean, use the Rolling Thunder, you're able to kind of just stun them, knock them off the ground, and then use the Orbital Strike on top of that. You have a general idea of where they're going to be. They can't escape it. But the problem is that the only person who was there, Nagwen, they got the tether. They got the one-way ticket out of there. And everyone else had already rotated towards C long, so that way they had that alley they could play with. And I think the plan was just like, we're just going to sit on this, and then we're going to use the Tour de Force, and we're going to win it out. They do win it out. And this looks very similar. It was 7-0 last time on Bind, 7-1. 1 round going the way of Delaware, but other than that, it's still been Kentucky in control, despite those close rounds that we've had.
Yeah, these rounds so incredibly close. I mean, we're looking at 1v1s or 2v1s seemingly every round with a few exceptions, but unfortunately close. Only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and unfortunately we ain't playing with either of those fish. Right now it is just going to be Delaware struggling to find any round win. Bowie almost goes down to the Shock Dart's 21 HP. Oh, Jam Hand finds the relay, and all of a sudden that 21 HP does not matter. Brown Paula takes out Woohyun. Oh, that's he is crit. Now Hobster goes down a 3v3. Bowie 3 HP now. Must have gotten wall banged at some point. Brown Paula finds Jam Hand, and Delaware are desperate to turn the heat back on.
They're able to get 1, but 2 members on either side are very, very weak. And they're going to group up on the side of Delaware. And they're not.
Right here.
Yeah, they have control of spikes. They don't have to really do anything. That's going to be the smoke going down. Will anyone try to grab it? It's not been picked up yet.
30 seconds left.
And the Brown Balla are both crit as crit can be. I think Bowie is 3 HP. Brown Balla is, I think, 15-ish, give or take. So right now, we're basically looking at Brim v Chamber because they're the only 2 with any HP on the board. Goes to grab the spike, might peek a little bit too far. Oh no, they're both right there. You just gotta keep firing. You gotta get through that wall, and Exotic is gonna be able to help them do just that. Delaware finally finding themselves in the win column of round 9. Jag, do we see the 9-3 again, or can Delaware break that curse?
Definitely could happen. It could be more, actually. It could be 5-7 when all is said and done. That's a huge round win. It's a thrifty round win, which means you didn't have to spend that much. You get more out of Kentucky. They have to spend more than they just spent already. They were just outplayed. I would have really liked, actually, Kentucky to just not even worry about this, but just play for the frags, play for possibly just going through the window of Garage, because that would have been huge for them. Instead, they tried to go for the spike. And Delaware, both rounds that they've won has been basically just they played for the time. They played for time to run out, and it worked out. And can they win? You know, I mean, they do get the elims at the end of the day, but it's really more about just like forcing them in a position where Kentucky has to go for a bad play.
Yeah, so I think the question at hand becomes, can Delaware continue to utilize plays out of their own book, right? It seems like they are really doing well when they play patient, when they play slow. I think Kentucky, I mean, I mentioned it earlier, has been doing a phenomenal job capitalizing on Delaware's impatience. Delaware moves a little bit too quickly, they move a little bit too aggressive, and UK folds every time. So I think if Delaware can continue to play slow, can continue to wait for Kentucky to get impatient, they can really flip this on its head.
They can. So it's really just a matter of who's gonna get more impatient first, is what it seems like. We've seen both teams, you know, go for those plays they didn't really need to or were forced to because of those timings. And Kentucky, are they gonna go for that B plant once more? Corner.
Check your corners. Bowie did check it, to be fair. That was not a check your corners moment, but is that... No, okay, for a brief second I thought that was the orbital strike, and I was just flabbergasted. Jamhand able to take that wall bang out, so now it's a 4v4. A decent trade, especially because Bowie has been kind of the front runner, the leader on the side of UK so far, so take them offline. Now Wook-Yun, another star-studded player, immediately dismissed from the fight. Nogwen finds relay. It's going to be a 3-3, but not for long, as Twisted does not check a very common corner. That's going to bite the team in the butt. Nogwen losing a firefight. 2-pound ball ends up to Jamhand to take out 3 players. Does have the spike, but only has less than 10 seconds left.
Yeah, they're going to just get run up on. They don't get this spike down. They're going to get collapsed at the head there, and unfortunately, it was an interesting round because Kentucky just seemed to fail to collapse on one side, which is the opposite of what they usually do. Usually they collapse and they don't check the flanks, the rotations. That time, they just played way too wide for way too long, despite, I believe, having a numbers advantage. Or no, it was even. So they could have just, you know, knowing like that, you know, these 3 sites are being covered, or at least probably A and C are covered. They got to pick one and go of it. Instead, they had A, B, and C, all players at different places, and none of them could win out their individual gunfights.
Get out of my way! Not won out quite when they needed to be. And already, Hobster, I mean, this is a new level of aggression for Delaware. However, I'm still anti-aggression from Delaware. I think they do much better when they play slow, when they let UKE push them. At the same time, in the back half of that, UKE is certainly not expecting them to hard rush at the beginning of the round. So it's a real toss-up on what they believe is the best approach moving forward. We're already looking at a 5v4. UKE must be getting a little bit scared about their econ, Jack, because they are hard rushing to plant that spike. Jamhand gonna go down. Bowie not far behind, and Brown Balla played nice on bind, playing even better here on Haven.
Twisted does have the Undersecurity though, so potential attempt at stopping the defuse could come through. William hasn't been found out, but that drone will find them out.
Oh,
and that's not where you want to be.
Oh, there's so many flashes for Wu and nowhere to go. That is devastating. There was the drone, there was the flash, there was the chamber on the corner. Now playing the spike. I love this. This is my favorite utilization of a Sova ultimate, but when somebody walks right up and gives you a little kiss on the forehead with a bullet, you're going to be taken out pretty early on. Jag, the curse has been broken. Delaware finding 4 rounds in the first half.
Yeah, is that a good thing or a bad thing, though? Because generally, if you are at the, you know, I guess the lesser end of the 9th, you're the team that ends up winning. We'll have to see how that pans out for them. The biggest thing there is, like, you know, it was going to be hard to win that 4v2 anyway, but the fact that Wu-Yun was so far onto the point, just kind of in no man's land instead of protecting their Sova, if they had played that Bladestorm back and played with them, maybe you stop, you know, that kill onto the Hunter's Fury, maybe you keep it going, who knows? But they're, again, it's kind of the same thing as last round. They are completely split, and because of that, it's going to be Delaware taking advantage of the numbers game.
I think we're figuring out why both these teams don't like split. They like to play split no matter what map it is. Heyo. Relay is going to be able to find an elimination early there. It's going to be huge. Takes Tour de Force offline. 5v4 again. And Jack, I can't remember the last time UKE won a round after having the first elim on their side, after losing a player first. I can't remember.
It's never.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they've clutched out a 4v5, so Delaware, going off the numbers we've seen so far, really could make this a 5-7 half, like you mentioned, and then if they win the pistol round, they 7-7 tie it up, and it becomes a whole new ball game. But that is a hypothetical for the time being. Delaware's going to have to keep this one forward. Bowie on to sight! Going to be able to tie things up in the blink of an eye. Hobster takes out Bowie. 4v3,
no one's there.
Shame they lose that.
But look at this again. Where's the team? Where's the cavalry?
With each other.
Like, now they are, but like if there had been like someone there watching Bowie's like side, I think that's a 2-for-0 trade. I think if they had someone like, rotating on A long, then they just take over the point and they go for the plant. It does look like they will get the spike plant on C, or maybe not because they didn't clear out the back of it. Oh boy, it's not going well for Kentucky right now.
It truly is not. Things are really starting to fall apart for them. Kentucky's been pretty separated so far. Brown Bamba takes out 3 to wrap it up. A nice little bow on top. And, I mean, it's just been such a positive turnaround. Was that 5 rounds in a row for Delaware, or was that 4 rounds in a row? Either way, it was a lot. Was it
4? Yeah, it was 4. Because they won the 1 round at one point. But it's basically the same thing that happened in the last map, but even better. You know, you can fall down early, and then all of a sudden you're able to bring it back. Like you said, pistol round here would tie things up. I think the one thing that Kentucky has going for it is that they went positive on attack, which is pretty difficult on Haven because it is one of the harder maps to attack because of those 3 points. So even though you probably could have gotten more out of it, you're thinking, hey, like, not too shabby, not too bad. I'm really mostly worried about how they played on attack. They've got to tighten up on defense. They cannot play... I mean, on defense, you kind of have to play a bit more split because you're, you know, taking over the sites. But once you know where that spike is going, you have to play together.
Yeah, and defense was where both teams really overperformed on Bind. That's where we saw both of them really kind of become those show-stopping teams that we've seen beforehand. So it's really fascinating to see Delaware do worse on offense. Like you said, you know, it's a little bit harder to play both sides because the spontaneity of Haven having 3 sites makes it really difficult to be a step ahead like the defense loves to be. But speaking of a step ahead, Relay already finding an Elin on the side of Delaware, in favor of Delaware, excuse me. That's slightly embarrassing. Do we taking out their own teammate? They're at least trying to. A lot of patience, a lot of slow burn, but Wukyan on the high ground, already down to 45 HP. But a Sheriff, so we know there's no armor, we know there's no util other than what you're given at the beginning of every round. The numbers insanely in favor of Delaware right now.
Yeah, this is looking not good for Kentucky. Delaware, they've got the angles, they've got the numbers, and I'm not sure Kentucky really has a way in here.
Kentucky may not have a way in, but they made sure Delaware, at least Hofstra, had a way out. Takes that jet down early, and wow, Wukyan, what a catch onto Relay. Reads the TP like a children's book, and now it's going to be a 4-3. Kentucky's really stepping up. They need this pistol round, Jack. It's going to be a close. Oh my goodness! Exotic was that can't be a collat, but that's as close as you can get with a classic. Oh my goodness, what a positive turnaround. And Delaware, statistically speaking, are ready to tie things up here on Haven.
And that was just a disaster for Kentucky. They turn it around from a 5v4 into a 4v3. They get the first Elin, but do you know what happened? They actually did collapse, but in the worst way possible. They all backed up into each other, and I think they were looking for what was going on in A long. They didn't finish out clearing out A short. Exotic just stays alive with a classic, just fires away blindly to all the bodies and ends up coming up with a 3K. And now the Spectres go their way. Delaware should be able to tie things up here.
Unless we see the thrifty round of a lifetime. Hofstra just spraying and praying into that Omen smoke. Nagwen only has the Headhunter at hand. 4 bullets per the usual. Actually did not buy armor, which is interesting. I kind of thought the meta was 4 bullets and some armor, but instead, just rocking with those bullets.
That's not going to be a lot to work with, but if you're able to hunt some heads, able to hit those heads, then 4 might be enough to at least get a few members down on the other side.
Hey, on a good day, 4 Headhunter bullets is 4 kills. You know what I mean?
That's going to be a great day.
I almost did it once. And by almost, I mean I got 1 kill with 4 Headhunters. Oh, Wukyan just does not have the weapons to work with. It's going to be Safadi taking that elimination off the board early. Delaware in such a positive position to tie things up. A shock dart does come through, but it's not going to be enough to interrupt the power play that Delaware is bringing to the table.
Yeah, just better guns. Already so much damage. This might be flawless.
It very well could be, Jack. I think it very realistically could be flawless. Only 2 eliminations away from making that happen, and then they can play a bonus going into the 3rd round. Relay taking a little bit of damage, nothing to be too worried about yet, but as of right now, this is Delaware's round to lose. They are looking great.
1 enemy remaining.
Yeah, and when they win this, which they should, Nagman might be able to get a trade here, but one thing to consider is that this is the first time that Delaware has been tied up with Kentucky, like, in regulation. The only other time they've been tied was at the beginning of a game when it was 0-0, which means if they win this round here, if they're able to win the bonus, which I don't think they will, but if they did, it'd be a huge win for them for a lot of reasons, but it would be the first lead in the entire series for them, round-wise.
That is, you're completely correct. I mean, that is absolutely what we're seeing here. Wukyan somehow affording an operator, but must just have this 4700. Yeah, no armor. Probably no util, if we're being honest. I mean, just completely bringing it down to the wire, but desperate times, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've got to get the rhythm going because they have really been struggling. There's a lot of information about them being in garage, which means this operator might not be as effective now. But it's a C push.
Not going to do a darn thing. If this turns into a retake, I mean, this could be a disaster. Nagwin somehow takes out 2, still alive as well. It's a 2-for-2 trade. Must have been able to TP right out of things. We've got the Jet alive on both sides. We've got the Chamber, so I'm looking at Breach v Sova Jag. Does either of their util really come in clutch for their team to walk away with this round win and put their team in the lead?
I think the Sova might actually be the advantageous one here, especially if we get this recon, so you know one's playing back corner, which means Wuyon would be looking for it, but you peek into it instead of letting your operator play off. You can just see that the trigger finger is not there right now. Wuyon has not looked the same since the beginning of Bind, and now it's all up to them in a 2v1, and they're just avoiding that angle at all costs.
I mean, this same player on Bind, like you said earlier tonight, was, what was it, at 1.12-1? I mean, it was truly an over-performance. But as the spike comes into those later defuse times, going for the rotation, or at least expecting one, I can only hope Delaware is sitting on the spike, but no! Delaware gets out. I think they were just too afraid of the operator, unfortunately. Or they're playing attack. What am I saying, bro? I'm literally just... the rotation confused me. Either way, Delaware, they are walking away with that 8th round win. And like you said, Jag, in regulation, in the lead for the first time this series.
Yeah, this is just... I mean, there was information. Kentucky should have known they were going to come through garage. They had at least some knowledge, so the rotation coming out a little bit too late. It seems like they had the ankles. I believe there was one player playing on top of boxes, and then they end up dropping off, and then they just don't find enough trays. They give up the point, and that operator is giving up. Or no, it's not giving up. Wuyon still has it, but can they make it work right now? I mean, they're trying to play, it looks like they're A short. No one's going to be there for the moment. Kentucky, they're on the outside looking in right now because all they have is Sheriffs to play for. That bonus really should have been theirs, but after getting 2 rounds that they really shouldn't have, now they're on the opposite ends.
I gotta say, using an op on this map is a lot harder than I think a lot of people give credit for. There's a couple of good angles you can hold, maybe twice. That's not one of them, but it works out very well for Wukian. Twisted able to pick up relay as well in UK Esports. Jag, they are desperate to tie things up here once again. This is the first time they have been in a deficit, but Delaware has decided enough is enough. Safadi versus Jamhand. Jamhand, a Sheriff and a Dream. Safadi has the Phantom at the ready, but Jamhand does not miss. That is UKE tying things up 8-8.
Wow. After a bonus round that goes awry, they somehow win the thrifty rounds. They don't get a lot of weapons from it, but they do have economy. Delaware, pretty good spot themselves, so they'll be able to buy here. And it's all tied up. This is such an important round. This reminds me back of when we were on Bind, we were saying, like, this is the most important one for momentum. This is the same sort of scenario. The difference is that Delaware in a much better position where they could actually start to run away with this and make it a tie game series-wise. They also have much better ultimates to work with. I would love for them to run in with a Rolling Thunder and just take over a site.
The Rolling Thunder, I mean, aka Bouncy Time. It is an insanely strong ultimate, one that was pushed to the wayside for quite a while, but people have really been bringing not only Breach, but that aggression of Rolling Thunder back pretty recently, and I think that would be the play for Delaware, but instead they're just going to go for the if it ain't broke strategy, the tried and true. Try to get it in quick. Hofster, though, take it out quick. Immediately it's going to be Nagwen forced to rotate out, but Jamhand there, capitalize off the back, able to find 2 eliminations, 2 will not turn to 3. Brown Balla is going to be able to help Jamhand into the afterlife. Now 30 HP. Relay takes out Nagwen. It is a 3v2 against Delaware. This is going to be a tough one.
They don't have the spike. Now they do. Alright, so now they have the spike, so now they can go for the plant. With that shock dart, it's gonna land.
Oh. You don't even have time to go for the plant. I mean, you just gotta do your darndest. Wow, actually finds one on the way out the door, but instead it is going to be Wukian with the operator, who did do some damage there in round 17.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like actually Wuyan's actually started to make a comeback a little bit. Still not, at the top of the leaderboard KD-wise, but the last 2 rounds they have found some really important picks with that operator. Maybe starting to feel themselves again, get the blood flowing. And this team, it's going to be a little bit of a tough buy. You see, I think Bowie was bought for there by Twisted, but they've got the weapons. Delaware, they're going to force here with Blade Storm, Tour de Force, and then some weapons. So they're going to use a lot of utility to try to play equally here. This could be huge. If they're able to win this one to make it 9-9, totally worth it. But if it doesn't work out, that's going to be a big overcommitment.
A massive overcommitment, truly. It could be the final nail in the coffin for them, just as much as it could be against them. We wait now to see how these ultimates are going to be working out. Quite a few on the table, like you mentioned. We've got that Tour de Force, we've got that Blade Storm. And Delaware, I think they've put all their eggs in one basket here, Jag. The question is, how well can they ride the bike? Will these eggs hit the ground and shatter? Carry them into the next round. It is now the Rolling Thunder as well, Jag. Delaware is sending everything they have down the drain just to tie things up against UKE.
To trade too, so they lose the Tour de Force. Still have an orbital strike. Yeah, the spike plan, it's the big thing right now, so this retake has to be really good from Kentucky. And it looks they're waiting for Twisted to get some information.
Looking for that recon to find Brown Balla may have the flank of a lifetime. Hopster takes out Bowie, but Woo Hyun is going to get in there and take out Hopster. Brown Balla now brings out that trigger finger a little bit early and turns it into a two-piece. Delaware now going to be on their lonesome. And Jag, I do not like the use of that ultimate right there. It's already a 3v1. But who knows? Maybe it's worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, they win the round, but they use so much to get it done. They use literally
all of their ults.
Yeah, all 4 are used in that round. They get the Operator, Safadi. We saw them before on the Brimstone. Use it here on the Breach. Not going to be too surprised about that. I think this is one of the harder maps to use an offensive Operator on. It reminds me a lot, honestly, of Ascent. Just peeking into angles can be really tricky, but considering that UK spent everything they had to work with last time, not going to have much here, so it's probably not going to be too much of a risk. Again, Kentucky just, they have the information, they just don't play off of it well enough. I feel like they're scared of overcommitting and, going to a point and leaving something open, but instead, they're just leaving it open anyway because they just give it up or just don't have enough players on the point at any given time.
Yeah, it's fascinating. They're afraid of overcommitting, but in that same breath, they then undercommit where they should be committing. So it's very much a double-edged sword. And they seem to be on the worse for wear side of things. 9-9. We have never seen a scoreline this high. We've never seen a team or these teams go so toe to toe. I mean, we got to remember Bind was 13-8, 13-9 at the end of the day, and now we've already got things tied up real early. Bowie going to be taken out early. UKE getting perhaps a little too aggressive, learning that the hard way.
But I think you're just trying to find trades or just trying to find healings. You're probably not going to win this one, but if you don't want to get flawless, and that's kind of the way it's looking right now, 5v2.
Spike planted.
Yeah, not getting flawless is certainly the primary objective, but in our current circumstance, I think that is going to be in the near future of UKE. A couple of headhunter bullets and a dream here from the side of Nagwen, but I just, yeah, Jack, I truly don't see a world in which they walk away from this one the victors.
Here.
No, it's going to be probably just looking for exit frags at this point, and I think you're going back to the drawing board a little bit. This defensive side really should have been their haven. That was a pun that was intended this time around. And they just... It's the same thing in attack. They have no idea how many people to put on the point at any given time. They try to just continually spread themselves out, which is more of a thing you do on defense anyway, but they have so much recon. They have so much intel, and yet still they're not doing anything with it. I don't think Nagwin's going to live very long here. Maybe they find something. Maybe they find nothing. They're going to peek into this. Oh, no. Okay.
All that patience, all that time just to be taken out in the final second of the round. I hate when that happens. But it is still going to be Delaware with a lead once again. Jag, if they play at this rate, though, in overtime could very much be in our near future.
It definitely could be. This is going to be the deciding factor if we get overtime or just in general, if Kentucky can battle back into this. Again, they're going to get the Operator. Safadi still has theirs, so we could see an op battle eventually. Ultimate's on the side of Kentucky. They have the teleport. They have the null commands. They're going to be stunned out, but they get Relay, but immediately is traded back.
Relay gets traded once again. Woo Hyun takes out Exotic. 4v3, so UK, Kentucky, they've got the opportunity to take the lead here in terms of numbers, but I was just about to ask for how long, and then Twisted has decided a little longer than expected. Takes out Brown Balla early, and Brown Balla has such a powerhouse for the side of Delaware, so to see them go down now, I'm not going to say guarantees a round win for UKE, but with Delaware's going to have to essentially do the impossible.
It's looking good. They force out the tether, but I mean, Twisted just continues to hold this angle. Safadi, op in the dream, not much else to go.
Oh.
Twisted gets 3, and that is set up by very great aggression, just pushing out from A or B. I didn't see the rotation they went through, but anyway, taking that window and never getting challenged, that's a big win, and ties things up again. Ultimates weren't used at all, so there's still 3 on the side of Kentucky, and this is going to be another buy. There is enough for the time being for Delaware to buy here, but Safadi getting the Operator, that's a big commitment considering that they had one of the bigger economies on their side,
Keep up.
and I still think this is going to be much harder to use, especially if you are a breach. You've got no mobility.
Mobility is a scary place to be. Young trying to get up close and personal. Oh! Oh my goodness, the collateral comes, takes two out early. Twisted finds two of their own, and all of a sudden, blink and you miss it, Jag. It is just a 5v1.
Yeah, one ultimate. Nogwin gets the flawless.
Incredible.
It's amazing. This series, it just starts out one way. It starts with Kentucky in complete control. The Delaware, they battle back every time. They claw tooth and nail to get to this point where they are ahead by 1 round at one point. I think that was it. 1 round lead. And then all of a sudden, Kentucky says, all right, we're back in this. We're playing for realsies now. They're inconsistent, but when they are on top of things, boy, are they on top of things. And I think they've just decided to stop letting Delaware take the point. They're just gonna rush out to them. They're gonna meet them at those, archways. They're just gonna not even let them get to the point at all.
And I'm so fond of that play style, of that ideology, because it has been such a level of aggression from Kentucky that I think has kept them in charge. I keep talking about that, how they're preying on the overzealousness of Delaware, and I think Delaware is becoming a little bit wise to that toward the end of Haven. They're trying to change their play style, and now, as Wukyan is just waiting for somebody to peek, Brown Balla will be the one on the wrong side of the matchup.
Yeah, that's the first elimination. Still 2 ultimate Cs from Kentucky, which I think is the biggest thing. No command especially will be huge if it gets into a more dire situation. I think that silence onto everyone and potential res could be immense as they continue to take it to them. Looks like B might be the hit, and now with this going in, they know B is going to be the target.
Kind of intended, kind of not. There's just no really other way to say that sentence. Safadi now is going to find an opportunity, making it a 4v3, making a 3v3 relay, gets the elimination of a lifetime, and all of a sudden, things are neck and neck once again. Jag, we wait to see if relay can capitalize. They know somebody's coming up and through garage. Can they have the crosshair in the right place at the right time? No, instead it looks like he TP'd out.
It's really interesting because the positioning is really not great for Kentucky. They don't have a lot of point presence, but if they're able to take this angle and force it out, it'd be huge.
Oh, Relay is going to be able to take out Jamhand, and the force has begun, my friend. Oh, Relay in the backline once again, trying to turn 3 into 4, and will be able to do so. Kentucky, they are trying to make the magic happen, but Delaware will fight them tooth and nail every inch of the way.
So who wins in a fight? 1 Brimstone Smoke or 3 players from Kentucky? In the end, it ends up being the Brimstone Smoke that they put towards A side. Completely zones them out. They have no idea where anyone's coming from, despite the fact there's a bunch of people over there. None of them win the gunfights. They just get ran into. They're not expecting it. And the retake approach, going from mid, from window, on low ground, they get kind of ring around the rosy. Just one person runs up all the way behind them. There's still people they're fighting. They pincer themselves. They allow the pincer to come through. Delaware, they again tie things up.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of mid, we have seen Delaware go from mid to pretty darn good, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, they have really been able to turn this one around, tying things up 11-11. And that overtime, Jag, I just can't shake the feeling that we may see an overtime pretty soon here.
It's looking closer and closer. I mean, it's been neck and neck for forever now. Both these teams trying to get to that penultimate round win. That A rotation, I'm pretty sure Twisted hears it. They're gonna be caught out with their gun, with their knife out. They won't get the first kill though. Hesitation.
Oh!
But it is going to be a trade. So that is a 4v4. Ultimates. I mean, there's 4 ultimates right now from Kentucky. I think you got to use some of them right here, right now.
You got to pop something. This is like an anti-sunken costs fallacy. Instead of using their ultimates, they're waiting to get their ultimates. They've had them and they're just sitting on them. We see the Omen TP come around Jamhand now down the A long. I like this, but it doesn't really put you into a new position. You just as easily could have walked down the A long. Wukyan misses, what was that, 4? Maybe even all 5 blades. And now it is a 2v1.5. The KO has already gone down. They're going to have to go for the res. Jamhand trying to smoke it out. No, they're just going to let it happen. Oh, this could be devastating, Jag. Now oh my goodness, now the paranoia takes it out. The wall bang takes out Exotic. The Molly does a little bit of damage. It's all about biding time. No, the Molly! Oh no, Brown Ball I think is going to go down here, but it's simply not going to matter. No, he wins it! The clutch of a lifetime, Jag. Delaware is 1 round away from taking us all the way to map 3.
Wow. It's just, how has Delaware done this that time? Just excellent timing again. They kill enough time off. You know, you could say, why do they let the res happen? That's just such a losable situation. They play patiently to keep their positioning, and it allows them to go for that molly, even though They end up losing out on that. Exotic gets that A-limb, and then Hunter's Fury is set up. They cancel it just in time. Even if they had lost that duel, it wouldn't have mattered. That spike was going off.
It was too late.
Again, Delaware, they play for time, and again, it works out. And it's either going to be overtime or it's going to be a win here, but that's going to be an elim early on for Kentucky.
A huge one, but it seems like Delaware has done quite a consistent job of winning rounds they are not supposed to. We have seen Woohyun come through and get first elim, first blood quite a few times, and a lot of those rounds have still ended with Delaware on top of things. Let's see if that is going to be one of these rounds once again, or if we will see that overtime. Only time can tell.
Yep. And I mean, at this point, Delaware, they should just use everything they have. Like I said before, Kentucky use everything they have. Same thing for Delaware. They've got the Rolling Thunder. They've got the Orbital Strike. We've seen them try to use that combination before it didn't work out. Twisted has the Eagle. Doesn't hit the shot!
Twisted doesn't even get to fire the weapon.
What is
Bowie's
going
got the
on?
crosshair in the wrong spot, Jag. All of a sudden, 4v3 in favor of Delaware. They are ready to wrap up a nice bow on Haven, and that will complete the irony of this map. We'll have both teams losing their own map choice, but now it's a 3-3 tie-up. UK, they are down, but they are certainly not out of this quite yet.
No, it's a 3v3, but again, they played for time, and it went in the way of Kentucky. They have the Rolling Thunder, they have the Orbital Strike, so you have to go aggressive. You have to go for these elims, because if you just give them this, you got to run into them, basically. You cannot just let them play far away. Rolling Thunder coming out, Orbital Strike probably going to be momentarily.
They baited the Rolling Thunder. It looks like it still hit two of them. Exotic now might... No, here comes the Orbital Strike as well. No! Exotic able to take Nagwen down. It's a 2v2 to the highest degree. I think everybody's hanging out at full HP. The Molly in now on the spike. They're going to go for the stick here, and I think Woohyun would land it if it was not for Exotic Stars, who comes in and wins the second map here in favor of Delaware.
Yeah, I'm gonna sound very critical here, but I just feel like Kentucky, like, there's sometimes you play a game and it's like you see someone on your team and it's like everything they do, you're like, can you do the opposite of that? That's what we needed to see from them. Those decisions that they made were so critical, and unfortunately for them, all of them were just not the correct one. I mean, they had to run in. They had to know the ultimates are there. Everyone can see them. So basically, again, what Delaware is going to do is they're going to play for time. They're going to play for space so they can use those ultimates to delay or just straight up, eliminate them. Molly, Orbital Strike, all of those things. The Rolling Thunder is just to kill more time off the clock, to stop that first tick from coming in on the defuse. But instead, they just play the spike because they take too long to come onto the point. There's just so many ways Kentucky could have won that. But Delaware, they were just more clutch. They just played that a bit smarter. Because of that, we will have that map 3 coming up.
And those mollies, Jag, I mean, every single time there was a molly on spike, they were perfect. They were just in the exact place at the exact right time every time. I know that Bram is newer to the meta. He used to be there. He was removed, and now he's back due to some insane buffs that he got recently, and it is clearly working out well on the side of Delaware. I think we're waiting to get confirmation on whether or not we need a break, but I'm curious to see if we'll be jumping into what is the third map? I'm blanking.
It's going to be
Ascent. It's Ascent. I got it.
Yeah.
I had to use my brain, but I got it. Ascent is going to be interesting because how do I say this? I feel if Kentucky plays Ascent the way they just played Haven, Delaware is going to sweep the floor with them. I think Kentucky started super strong on Haven. I think they were in the winning position for a majority of the map, and then somewhere in the middle, somebody flipped the switch. I don't know if the non-sponsored Gamer Liquid kicked in or what, but all of a sudden, Delaware bringing out their A game, just giving us their 110%, and I think that momentum carries into map 3. I think Kentucky is going to have to step it up like we have yet to see today.
I mean, I think Kentucky, it just seems like nothing is going their way after a few rounds. It's like gunfights, they're in great positions to hold those angles, but they're just not finding, the trigger discipline. They're just going a little bit too rapid fire with it, so they're not winning those out. Decision making, again, that's a big critical thing. So how they set up their attack, how they set up their defense, how they've gone for the retakes, it just needs to be different. I think the one thing is, it's Ascent. It's not going to be Haven, so there's only 2 sites to worry about. Mid control is important, but not as important as it is here on Haven. And one thing I do know is we will be having that break, so we're going to be throwing it to a short one, but don't go anywhere, folks, because we do have that map 3, that exciting map, in just a little bit.
Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back for some more ECAC Valorant. We have had quite the turnaround of a series, if I do say so myself. Kentucky began Bind with a 9-0 lead at one point, I believe. They end up winning it by the skin of their teeth, 13-9. We jump into Haven, where things work out, and I believe a 13-11 scoreline, 13-10 scoreline in favor of Delaware. So we're going all the way to our third and final map, which is Ascent.
Yeah, and I'm gonna, I talked about the negatives that we saw from Kentucky before. I was a little bit critical. Let's focus on the positives right now. Although they did lose that last map, kept it very close, still very competitive, even though they were starting to lose some rounds in not so great fashions. I think the biggest thing is like Bowie looks really, really good. And yes. I think this next map, Ascent, very, very good for KO. So I think that's the play. Keep Bowie on this KO. I think you just have to figure out how you're going to play these points a little bit better. That was the biggest thing. Rotations, where you're putting people out, how you're trying to recontest once those spikes went down, or like once you planted your own spike. All those things, if you figure that out, like you're golden, because we still know this is a very good team. Kentucky, they looked amazing, especially on that first map bind. Now that there's one last point, can you bring it back home? Delaware, I mean, you said it yourself, like they just look really, really good right now. Something swapped in them, something switched, like some sort of switch was flipped, and they have looked incredible, really, since halfway through bind.
Yeah, they just really kind of, like you said, turned it on. They've been keeping the momentum through Bind into Haven, and now, ideally, into Ascent. I think if Kentucky has not made some proper changes, and I don't mean like player swaps, I just mean kind of composition changes or corner checking more often, please. If they have not done those things, I truly believe Delaware is going to wipe the floor with them. So moving into Ascent, Kentucky, to me, is going to have to step it up like we have not seen before. And I believe we're going to be jumping in just a minute. So, Jag, we can talk a little bit about the ideas of what comps do we expect to see here on Ascent?
Before we do that, I just want to talk about like the breach impact. We talked about this during the break with our production squad, and shout out to Chad Landis for noticing this. Like, a lot of those amazing flanks that we saw were set up by breach utility, by the breach flashes. So, although I'd be very surprised to see them run a breach here, I think something like a Sky, which was very meta here for a very long time, could work out very similarly. Again, I would love to see Reyna. That's the biggest thing. I think Reyna on Ascent, it's not as popular as it used to be. I still think this is her best map. I think a lot of people have gone towards Chamber. He's just been kind of the better pick overall. I don't think Chamber is great here, to be really honest, unless he's like playing mid the entire time. Right. I don't think he's as advantageous as a map like Haven, because there's a little bit less open space for him to really work his magic with the tethers. Seems like both teams disagree with me, though, as they are going towards that Chamber, but we actually do see a Reyna potentially, but it's not from who I'd expect it to be.
I was going to say, I am surprised that it's actually Bowie hovering the Reyna. I don't know, that could work. Bowie's been obviously a very aggressive top frag. He utilized those KO flashes a lot, and the way he threw them, I almost commented on this, but I thought I was crazy. The way he threw them very much reminded me of a Reyna throwing a Leer. He'd always throw them kind of higher up, kind of above the angles of where the team might be looking to catch people out, and I don't know, I think they could do it very well. All right, there it is. As I say, we haven't seen my girl Reyna all night. I'd love to see it, and we are going to get the opportunity. Now, they don't call Ascent Sova's playground for nothing, right? So both these teams going to bring that Sova out, and I think Sova is the single-handed most impactful player or character a team can have on Ascent.
Absolutely, especially I feel like on defense. I mean, if you know how you play that B site, just lock it down, especially if you get like an Ares or something, you can just like wall bang with one Owl drone or one Recon bolt. Absolutely just team wipe someone. You see a lot of Odin play here as well, because there's a lot of walls here that are weaker than on other maps. Like I'm thinking of a Heaven and like versus Hell, you can like spray from either above or below into whoever you expect to be there. And Sova is just so good at setting those plays up because of the recon that he offers. So not surprising at all that we see it. Again, some changes though on the side of Delaware. We mentioned this before. They changed some roles. Safadi going to go back to Brimstone after playing the Breach that was oh so great and setting up eliminations last time. Hoffs are going to be sticking to the Jet, but a lot of other changes around the board. And Brown Bala, who is, I believe, gone from Sky to Sova to now the KO. So interesting, because they have a Sova still, but they continue to move these pieces around. Last time it worked out. This time, will it have the same effect? Will they still be able... Are these hero pools or the agent pools, are they deep enough to, sustain all these changes?
We can only hope, because like you said, they've got to be pretty stinking deep for these, technically third swap, I guess. They played one, they swapped, and they swapped again. So third team comp that we're seeing in a lot of similar agents. Hobster still on this Jet. I think I like this. They did really well on the Jet on Haven, I thought. I don't believe they were top frag or anything, but I think the job was certainly done. At the end of the day, that's what playing this game is all about. At the very least, getting your job done.
Mm-hmm. We'll see who gets the job done quicker here. Already, I mean, UK's already down to like 4 people, and their Jet's already weak, so not a great start.
Yeah, definitely a rough start. Oh, golly, yeah, somebody's going to be going down. That is going to be a Chamber at critical HP as well as the Jet. It's the pistol round, though, so the HP not nearly as important if you can land a headshot with, you know, the Headhunter, a Ghost maybe if you're close enough. The possibilities feel endless, Jag. With a minute left on the clock, I feel even UKE isn't completely sure what to do here.
Yeah, but the rotation from Delaware, they're panicking. They're moving towards B. And the 0 point's destroyed, so they actually should know there's someone there, but instead they're still rotating towards B. This is the best chance right now for UK to take A. But they want to play mid. Hofster might have the angle. And they're going to get one out.
Oh,
They're
the
get the elim.
Hofster's going to be so sad that they were observed for all of that. That is a really bad
30
lineup
seconds
there.
left.
Now it's going to be Exotic
Spike
going
down,
in deep.
mid.
Market actually catches, but they closed the door! Did they grab the spike?
They didn't. I don't think they did. No,
I think it's on the wrong side of the door.
Yeah. They broke it looks like, but Relay's still playing on the other side.
That's so goofy that they did that. Exotic trying to get up close and personal. Catches one! Kiana is going to go down with a reload. Will be the reason that Exotic is sent to the second round. That is very unfortunate to see, but with only 4 seconds left, they have to go for an emergency plan. Can somebody get out fast enough? Finds the Soma and finds the kill! That is going to be a round win for Delaware Jag. Map 3, the first time Delaware actually wins the initial pistol round.
Yeah, and it's very similar again to what Delaware has done before, where they don't close out the point. This reminds me a lot of point C in Haven. They go for the plant, but they don't check the back of it. They don't check the corner of it. And here we are. I mean, first round, they're just both in Boathouse. No one's even looking at that. I'm not sure they expected anyone to be there. And even though it was a 2v2, it's really a 1v2 when someone's trying to get that spike down in the last few seconds. Like you said, Delaware first pistol round of the game. The first pistol round of the game, I should say. And now they get the Spectres that they so won't desire.
Spectres could be huge. It's the first time they have been the buy-up team at the beginning of a game. I'm sure they're stoked to be here. Brown Balla going for a bit of a jiggle peek. Gets a little bit of information here. You in the firefight. I think you've got to take that one with confidence.
I mean, you got it. You got the firepower advantage, so you might as well just try to send it. That one is, not as good as you'd want, because you do get the elimination, but you lose quite a bit of health. But still, opening kill goes your right, but that's the big one, getting out Bowie.
Yeah, that is the huge elimination. Bowie there struggling a little bit on this Reyna so far. Brown Balla, cutting it a little bit close, but able to keep the action moving in. Oh, what a flash. Takes out Wukyan and Blink, and you miss it. A team ace to boot. Delaware not losing a single person in that second round.
Leaving all those Spectres, building up their economy. Might lose the bonus, but they did win last time, I think. I think only actually one bonus so far in the series, so 1 out of 4 that we've seen thus far actually went to the team that should have won it. So that weapons advantage for Kentucky isn't a guarantee by any means that they are able to win this. They also have worse armor, so if they get into a firefight, especially with all Vandals, it's really you're going for the one tap. A Phantom will spray a bit better than a Spectre and also do more damage, but if you miss like the first 2 taps with the Vandal, you're going to be at a huge disadvantage unless you have a lot of distance.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be nothing absolutely terrifying disadvantage. Hofstra is going to be able to find Wukyan. Bowie takes out somebody, but Exotic is going to be there to take out Twisted. Now a 4v3, so the trade's really not in favor of Kentucky. And Jack, like you mentioned, this is a round they statistically are supposed to win, but as the way Delaware's been playing it, I think we may see a 3-0 scoreline.
Yeah, statistics be damned. What else can I say about that? Like, these stats have not held up at all in this series. The way things have gone hasn't at all, but Relay not able to connect on that means that they know someone's going to be on the flank. I'm also not sure if Delaware got any weapons off of that. I don't think they actually got any weapons from the elims. They got Bowie about to go for 1v1.
Oh! More like a 1v-none as Hofstra takes Bowie offline very early, a 4v2. Not a flawless for Delaware, but Jack, if they walk away with this only losing 1 person in what was supposed to be a free round for Kentucky, I mean, this is going to be not necessarily free, but an easy round. Brown Balla just, oh my goodness, beats the crap out of Nagwen there. They know exactly where this omen is going to be. Jam Hand finds 1, but just not going to be enough.
Yeah, and the fact that they lose 2 people here is not a big deal because they kept all of their weapons from round 2. So now they're going to rebuy anyway. They're not going to keep these Spectres. In fact, again, falling might give you more credits to work with later on. It lets Hofstra get an operator in their hands. That's now 4 out of 5 rounds for the bonus that didn't go the way that it should do statistically. The team that full bought, had the Vandals, had the better weapons, does not win. And now Delaware, for the first time, has a lead that's greater than 2. This is incredible because it's 1-1, right? The first time they've had first time ever, and the only time they've had a lead that was 2 was when they won the second map.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got to talk about, you're doing well when even our producer in the back line is telling us how good you are doing. I mean, Brown Baller right now getting a compliment from Leighton in the back line saying he looks so comfortable. He looks so great here on this KO/Ascent kind of matchup that he's bringing out right now, and I could not agree more. It has been Brown Baller. I mean, Game 1, pretty good. Game 2, even better. Game 3, Brown Baller has stepped it all the way up.
And I'm shocked that Kentucky did not run a KO, knowing how effective it was. I do like the Reyna pick, but I feel like if you're choosing between, the Chamber, the Reyna, and the KO, go for the Reyna and the KO. Get rid of the Chamber. Chamber doesn't need to be here, but this is the comp Kentucky is committed to. I don't think they're going to find much here. They're about to be counter-angled as these two try to push into mid. They just don't have the weapons.
Yeah, I was going to say, might be a trade if they're lucky, but with the weapon disadvantage that we're seeing on the side of UKE, I doubt they're going to be able to get much done. Okay, wow, all right, I'll eat my words live on stream, y'all. I don't mind one bit. That's going to be a 3-3 now. UK, they're looking for a thrifty, and they should actually get 2 free Vandals off of this. That's going to be huge for whatever fight they take next.
Only 30 seconds left, so they have to make a push soon. They're going to come out, and it looks like B is going to be where they're going to go.
They're going to be moving into B. Body might be able to. No, scratch that. Will find an elimination onto Bowie. Relay takes out Twisted, and all of a sudden it is 4 Jam Hand all over again. The spike plant does not come through. Oh, Jam Hand bailed on the spike plant.
Yeah, and in the grand scheme of things, you don't have enough time to really win with gunfights anyway. Yeah. So it's like you might as well just take the credits. Might as well take the death
you
afterwards.
Dead either way.
Yeah, but at least you'd get the credits for you and your team. And it's those kind of things from Kentucky that unfortunately have been just costly. I mean, the decision making in these key scenarios has not been terrific, and I think that's a big part of it. Is that you have to know when to hold them, when to fold them, or when to just kind of cut your losses and go. Every time they've needed to do something, they've done again the opposite of it. And it's not going to be the end all be all. That's what 400 extra credits. It's not going to be what makes or breaks your whole economy. But it might prevent a full buy, and you're already down Jam Hands.
I think that's the first time Jamhead has been the first blood, actually. Usually it's Jamhead who's left alive, fending for themselves in a 1v5. But right now we see, I like Kentucky's aggression here. They tried to play it slow, they tried to play it relaxed, and they failed 4 times in a row. Now instead, they're bringing out a hyper-aggression, a Hunter's Fury as well. I mean, Exotic is down, Relay is gone, Hopster's gone as well. This is just a huge opportunity for Kentucky to put themselves on the board. Does Safadi ace? That's the question. Probably not if we're being realistic, but it's still a huge round there for Kentucky to finally get themselves back in this.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of when Delaware was able to do the same thing actually on Haven. Stop the bleeding early on after giving up the bonus. Now you're back into it. Now you can start building up your economy. Bad news is you lost 2 along the way, so Nogwin and Jam Hand can't full buy. Looks like they're going to have to be bought 4, which means overall your economy isn't looking not as good. But honestly, Delaware's not too far ahead. They buy here. They might not be able to buy next round. So this one right here could be a huge factor. Relay's saving and just going to use their total force. So this one has a lot of implications, especially because Delaware has 4 ultimates. They use 1 here. It doesn't work out. Maybe they force more. Could just destroy their ult bank.
Oh boy. Speaking of destroying ult banks, Delaware bringing out 2 ults to put you 7 total force, and then the Hunter's Fury as well immediately out the gate. Still a 5-5, a little bit of damage done to that Reyna. Of course, Reyna, one of the few characters in the game that can heal himself. She has to get an elimination first, and there it is. Brown Balla, who I feel so bad. I feel like I cast her curse. She's not been performing Safari since, but still going to be going down. Jamhead takes out Safadi in a 1-1 trade, leaving the advantage in UK's hands.
Remaining.
Nogwen backline. Bowie takes out Exotic as well, and now it's up to Hopster. You've got the op, you've got a dream, but I just don't think you've got the time.
Yeah, maybe just go for the save here. I'm not sure if they'll even get the chance to. They're going to be collapsed on Bowie, going to be there. That's a shot miss. That's 3 for Bowie. And all of a sudden, Kentucky starting to show signs of life, starting to show the gameplay that we saw from them on that first map bind. They look confident, they're winning gunfights, they're being decisive, they're making money moves, and they are cashing in.
Forgive me.
A lot of the time, it felt like they were just stalling out. This time, they have gone back into drive. And it looks like Delaware will be able to, for the most part, buy here. Hofstad gonna have to go for a Spectre, but this is a little bit of a force buy. I thought maybe they try to just go for the Alt Orb instead of playing for the Spectre. Maybe that's still the play. It does look like they're positioning towards A, but not everyone, so they're not going to go for the full rollout.
Right.
And Kentucky might be down by 2 rounds, but they do have an advantage here, alt-wise and gun-wise.
The advantage is definitely on Kentucky's side, but I feel like we have seen Delaware win worse matchups. And I mean, it's just Delaware's ability to come back from the seemingly impossible that I really feel they have had that advantage in round 3. I've got to give credit where credit is due. I mean, Kentucky, they've won 2 rounds back-to-back. They're looking to secure with a third, pushing hard onto the A site for, I feel like, the first time. I feel like this is the first time we've seen A site. Now it's going to be UKY with that immediate elimination onto Relay, making it a 5-4. But Hopper might be able to, will find the elimination onto Bowie, tying things back up. Not for long. Wukian with that operator takes out Safadi. A real powerhouse player has to kiss this round goodbye. UK, they're 3 rounds away, winning their 3rd round and almost tying us back up. What a shot from Wukian there. It is going to be the Blade Storm taken offline, and by that KO 0-point Blade. Even without that Blade Storm, they may be able to win this one. Brown Baller with the 3. Can he find the 4? Jag? No, it's the right click. That puts him in. Wukian with a 4K of his own to win Kentucky's 3rd round.
And it seems like Kentucky, they kind of live or die by how Wuhyun plays here. They're really starting to step up, trying to get back into form. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Bind, they dominated because they were dominating. It wasn't just a one-player performance, but they were definitely the spearhead. They were leading the charge. And then all of a sudden, they just became very quiet throughout Bind. Throughout all of Haven, really didn't show up too much compared to their teammates. But here, right now, I mean, that's a big round win, a big clutch up. And continue to just tick away at Delaware's economy. They will be able to buy here. Won the last 2 raw. If they lose this one, I don't believe they'll let them go to a save next round. Bladestorm having to be committed as well here. Kentucky, they could tie things up in round 8.
Kentucky can absolutely tie it up here. Now Relay has to give away their location a little bit earlier than maybe they wanted. We see the 0-point come out, trying to get a little bit of recon. They know a few people are just around that corner. Bowie is going to possibly... No, okay, I thought they were going to go up around the box. I would have done, but that's why these guys are better than me. They know the game just a little bit better. Twisted and Exotic going to have a 1-1 trade. Hofstra down 4-4, and I think UKE, I think maybe they're still debating on which side to approach. They only know where, to their knowledge, the KO is and the Jet because she's dead. Everybody else can be a bit of a wild card right now. They've got to figure out which risk is more calculated.
Very different from the last 2 rounds where they just kind of steamrolled in and were able to just overpower. I think a big part of that is because they had ultimates to use. Now, they still have ultimates to use, but decided not to use either the Omen or the Tour de Force ultimate quite yet. And, well, it's even. Time is not their friend. 40 seconds left. They got to make some moves soon. Probably have an idea where that KO is now after that 0-point comes out.
Yeah.
It looks like A should be where they're trying to go to. And I think the biggest thing is right now, it's really a 2v4 if they touch the point.
Oh, Bowie just gets kissed by that nade. Luckily enough, not enough to seal the deal on that Reyna quite yet. 3-4 still. Everybody's got to be moving it slow, and there we go. Bowie gonna crack this fight wide open. Kentucky fighting tooth and nail to tie things back up. And if they do, Jack, I wouldn't be surprised to see them even turn this into a lead. It feels like they're really getting comfortable here on Ascent. Brown Balla, speaking of comfortable, that KO doing numbers for the side of Delaware. A lot of patience. We're playing a lot of long games right now.
3v3, but I mean, the point presence is just so good right now for Kentucky. They've got all angles covered, but they don't have tree.
Oh, Safadi, Exotic, Bowie on the higher. Excuse me, Inhale is going to try to find an elimination, but Safadi finds the peak. UKE not going to be able to tie things up quite yet as Delaware are trying to keep that lead.
I think no matter how this series ends, this is one of the closest games of Valorant I've ever casted. Not only in ECAC, not only in Collegiate, but just ever. Because it's so interesting because you look at that first map and you look at the screen and you're like, oh, that was a close game. It wasn't for so long. But Bind, for the most part, was much closer. 7-5 halftime, 11-13 ending scoreline. Here, 5-3. There hasn't really been a giant lead for Delaware whatsoever. And right now they are in the driver's seat by 2. But even when they lost, it was only a 4-round differential at the end of the day. It's just been such a back and forth toss-up. I'm just so excited we got a 3rd map. Honestly, I can't wait to see how this ends.
Yeah, this is just anybody's game, truly. And I feel like I've been harping on Kentucky a lot. But to be honest, to be transparent with you, chat, Kentucky's just made some more obvious mistakes. They've made a couple of crucial things that were easy for us to pick out, and there were some real options to discuss why they lost that second half. Now, we saw them drop the ball a little bit here, moving into Ascent, but the ball didn't seem to roll very far. They're getting their footing back on top of things. They're in a 5v4. They've got that Empress at the ready. But as long as Brown Balla is alive, it seems any round is losable, truly. Bowie is going to be able to take out Hobster now. 5v4 turns into 5v3. The stun does come through, and Bowie gets put down. A bullet to the dome. Safadi taken out by Jamhand. 4v2 now. It's going to be tough here. They're trying to go out with a bang. They may be sent out with a whimper. Round ball taking quite a bit of damage. Sends the nade onto the box, I believe. Okay, no, it goes behind. I thought that was going to be a very personal attack. Oh, it's going to be a double kill coming out from Kentucky. A very clean play. They're only down by a single round.
Yeah, they are bringing it back. That's, again, like, it's tempo. They're finding their tempo. They're finding what works best for them. I'm surprised they ever swapped off of these really aggressive pushes. It worked so well on Bind. They didn't really do it at all on Haven. Here, though, finding so much success when they just commit.
Here.
They don't play around. Maybe they wait a little bit for that default, but in general, once they just push in, like, nothing can stop them. Delaware now. Gonna have to go back to the drawing board a little bit.
Here.
Gonna have to go for a light buy. Mostly sidearms, one Spectre. They have ultimates to use, but this should be Kentucky tying things up. The last time we said that, they didn't. So honestly, who knows?
Who knows, Jag? That is truly the name of the game right now. We have seen so many thrifties, so many statistic breaks. We've seen just so much from this game, and that truly does come down to individual player performance. Right now, we're keeping an eye out on what these players can do, who's feeling comfortable where, so on and so forth. We're looking for Kentucky to feel comfortable entering round 10. They want to keep this alive, tie things up 5-5. There's a very realistic chance we go into the half at a 6-6.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why not just bring it even closer? That the only thing closer than 7-5, right? Make it dead even at the half, go to overtime, go to like 20 extra rounds. This game could go on forever, honestly. These two teams are very well matched. Like you said before, I think Kentucky's made a few more obvious mistakes or just a few errors, especially like in the bigger moments. I mean, it's definitely not been a flawless game from Delaware, especially on Bind. That's how they fell behind so early on. Just didn't seem like they were in the swing of things or really have been able to bring it back.
Woo!
Kentucky gets the first elim.
With the first elim, and a rather big one at that. Now 1 turns to 2, turns to 3. Hofstra finds the trade. Baray onto the 4v2. There are obviously twice as many members on the side of Kentucky.
30
Exotic
seconds
has a
left.
sheriff, one of the coolest in the game, in my opinion. Has to give their location around to go on the high ground. Goes for a bit of a spray and pray. Speaking of spray, Relay going to be able to find that first elimination onto Nagwen. Only one more. They can tie things up here in terms of the numbers, but if I'm not mistaken, Delaware's still at a pretty extreme weapon deficit. That's Sova just rocking a sheriff.
Yeah, I mean, really, I picked up the gun on the flank, able to get that elim, but they win that actually, and they win that one. No, they cannot. So just not getting peak timing. It was a good try. They get 3 elims in a save round, so that's huge. Kentucky's economy not going to be looking nearly as good, but still a loss for Delaware. And as things are, they are even. That 6-6 scoreline you talked about, it's looking more and more realistic because
it almost feels improbable. Probable. It almost feels likely. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It feels like it's going to happen. That's the goal.
Yeah. There's a good chance it happens. It really comes down to can Delaware win this round? Because if they lose this, it's almost guaranteed they'll lose the next one. They have no economy. This is a force buy. And Kentucky, they got a lot to work with here. Ultimates, numbers-wise, are even. But I'm not sure if, like, usage-wise they are.
Oh, boy! That's a Hunter's Fury coming out the gate here, trying to get intel, trying to get even. A fraction of an elimination, but it's going to be Relay. Takes Bowie off the table, and now Jamham going to be the next to go down. Young finds one. It's going to be another one. That KO absolutely resable, but do you even need to? You're currently up 3-1. Poor Twisted, stuck in that boathouse. I'm not sure they... No, that's not boathouse. Wow, my brain just shut off. Look at that long sight now. Looks for the opportunity to kill that KO, but he just can't... He forgot where he was. He just can't find the opportunity. No! The triple! Are you kidding? The double shock dart of a lifetime, Jag, and all of a sudden it is 1-1. Turns to 1-0. Hofstra going to be able to pick up that 6th round for Delaware. Worst case scenario, they are tied up at the half.
They get the lead, and that'd be huge for them, but if it's not a lead... I don't know. The thing is, they win that round, but it's so costly, especially the fact that they lose 3 members. It's a 2v1. Obviously, the KO is down. They could have rezzed them back up. They could have helped them save a weapon. Now they have to spend what they have. It's not a lot. Relay does have the Tour de Force, so they really have to buy abilities as well as armor. It's looking not as bad as I thought it would, honestly. It's 1 Spectre and then 1 Tour de Force. Looks like Relay bought a Judge just for safekeeping. The gun's definitely looking a little bit better in Kentucky, and they're also using the Tour de Force, and oh my goodness.
My goodness, poor Hofstra. I've got to say, even with Delaware doing a great job, poor Wukian has not let Hofstra play the game. It has just been truly a jet diff in that 1v1. Right now, Safadi is going to be waiting just to send in that volley, trying to clip somebody's wings, and Relay gets timing diffed. Exotic not far behind. Jamhan just raining terror in that midfield right now, in that middle. Pressure's on, though. 2v5. We saw Delaware almost plus one of these earlier. Question is, how many can they take out now? Ground baller going in deep. Looking for an elimination, picks up one, not able to find one more. That poor KO gonna get caught out in the mid. Jag, there it is, that 6-6 score.
Yep, you predicted it. It came into fruition. And I gotta say, I think that looks a little bit better for Kentucky because, again, I feel this is a more defensive-sided map.
Right.
However, I said that on Haven, and that did not work out for Kentucky on Haven, so definitely not guaranteed that Kentucky's able to get more rounds out of it after the side swap. This pistol round becomes so much more important than it was previously because it's dead even right now. You get that 2-round lead, maybe even take the bonus that's 3 rounds, or if you give it up, at least it's a 2-for-1 trade. This is all about round score right now. Throughout everything else that we've talked about thus far, getting to 13 is the primary goal. How you get there, it doesn't matter, but just delays, capitalizing on your enemy's mistakes. It's basically a 1st to 7. That's all that matters right now. That last round, that last half, get rid of it. It's a 1st to 7, and it's anyone's chance to take.
Absolutely. It is a 1st to 7 right now. Nagwen trying to put it down early, but Relay does the exact same thing. Both chambers taking out a power player on the opposing side, and we are now stuck in a 4-4. Okay, it looks like it's going to be a bloodbath down the line. Now a 3v2 in favor of Kentucky. And Jack, like you said, I think if Kentucky can win this pistol round, they can really start to snatch that momentum back just due to the way the cookies have crumbled on the side swaps. Bowie gets a little bit of intel. Somebody's rushing it up through mid. Now a full rotation around to the A site. Relay going in deep, looking for the opportunity to strike, but it's Bowie who finds that headshot kill. The door now closed. Going to open that bad boy right back up. Trying to catch up Safadi, and they're not. No, they are not going to be able to. Safadi lives to tell the tale. Now it's a 2v1 running for the Ghost, trying to turn UKE into just that.
And the Molly was there, as I say, maybe you save that for the post play, but instead they use it to just cut off Heaven. But that's going to be a utility they wish they had back. I mean, we talked about how great those Mollies were, especially on Haven. Now they don't have that.
I think they're doing what we talked about earlier, where we said this is going to be a really tough round to win. Go for the spike flank. That feels more important in this current scenario. I think that's kind of what they're aiming for, trying to make sure they get the opportunity to get those additional credits. That's one. Do we see one more around the corner? And oh! Safadi just did not have the crosshairs in the right spot. UKE, they're taking that 7th round win. For the first time in a long time, they find themselves back in the driver's seat.
They do. They get the lead again. And this has just been so back and forth. Bowie gonna go for a very big commitment here. Vandal or Phantom. Originally Phantom, could be Vandal. I don't like these kind of purchases. I understand, like, you're really trying to make sure you have that win. But going up against sidearms, if you end up losing that duel and you give up that weapon, it completely can turn the tide. Yeah. I mean, you could win off of that one Vandal, honestly. It's definitely possible. Looks like Twisted gonna be going for the Ares. We didn't see this a lot from Exotic on the other side. I really wanted to see more Ares and Odin play. Maybe we'll finally get some here.
Agreed. I do love me some Odin gameplay. I really like the Ares when it was broken. I was a big fan. Ooh, Keanu, who dashes in like that? That was a power play if I have ever seen one. It looks like it's not going to cost them quite yet. Instead, it's going to work out well. Able to take out Hopster with that marshal once again. Body finds one. Ooh, Keanu with the no-scope onto Exotic. Puts him down early. And all of a sudden, Jag, I've got to say, this is the UKE I remember on Bind. Actually, no, it's not. This is the Wuqian I remember on Bind.
They lost the Vandal, but hey, there it is. Relay picked it up, so this could turn the tide. This actually could be a big difference maker. Not sure if anyone's expecting that. It really could just be the Relay show right here. If they are able to pop off, you can completely clutch this out, make it 7-7. That would be a huge turnaround. This is what we're worried about. But he does still have to deal with a lot of people.
I think the real difficulty is getting
one enemy remaining.
Right now. That is actually so embarrassing for Safadi. I feel so bad, but now, like you said, the Relay show gets canceled before the pilot even gets the chance to air. It's going to be an 8-6 in favor of UKE. They are keeping this dream alive. Delaware had a great first half of the first half. Then UKE, they really started to turn it on and turn it up, and they are looking to walk away with that 2-1 victory tonight.
And they're playing Who Wants the Vandal right now. Looks like it will go back to Bowie, who is the top fragger on their side. You know, it's, was it 5 out of 6 of the bonus rounds have not gone the way we've expected so far, so I'm not going to call it. Nagwin actually also got a Vandal, made it pass it on to William, so, you know, I think there's going to be a lot more firepower than you'd expect on the side of Delaware going into this. You know there's going to be at least 1 Vandal, 2, not going to be expected whatsoever. Because of that, they could lure them into a false security where they could just run them over.
Yeah, Brown Balla going to be bringing out that Vandal early, trying to go for a spray and pray down that A long. Nobody's going to be there to catch out those bullets, though, unfortunately. I think the patience we're going to see right now is completely justified on all sides. This is going to be the opportunity for these players to come in and get a little bit of intel, a little bit of recon of where somebody might be. It's going to be Exotic going for a bit of a bounce, but I don't think anybody's in that corner, my friend. A little bit of a misread on that Owl drone.
Yeah, it's a little bit of utility use, and I'm sure that Taki will be happy of that. They know that there is someone at least near mid, so that shock dart went through. But now that has been made, the noise has been made, it's going to be a push on to A, and it has to be know who's there, but it's Bowie who gets the 2 kills.
Bowie dropping 2, Wukyan able to pick up some body. We saw the spike drop, they're rushing into the A side, probably desperate for a plant. Hopster desperate to win this 1v1 for the first time, already down to 30 HP, waiting for that jet to peak.
It's again, they got the numbers, but do they have the weapons? I mean, there's one member who's really weak on the side of Delaware, but I'm not sure. I mean, Urena has had one of the Vandals. I'm not sure if anyone else is able to pick it up on your side. Urena has the other. Gonna go up top.
Looking for the up and over. Exotic just having a field day right now, taking 2 out before they are taken out. UKE coming to life here, winning, I believe, every round on the defense so far.
Yeah, that's 3, and you know what that means? I think I said it 2 ahead of time. That is now 5 out of 6 bonus rounds not going to the team that full bot. Just think about that. That is a very big statistic anomaly, and yet here you have it, living proof. Like 80% of that has gone the way we didn't expect it to, and now it's 9-6. Kentucky, they're finally getting the full head of steam. It's like the reverse of what has happened to them all game. Usually they're the one that's ahead and then falls behind. They fell behind early on, and here they are. In the last 8 rounds, they have won 6 of them, 7 of them, something like that. It's been an amazing comeback, and Delaware doesn't have a lot to work with here.
Delaware does not have a lot to work with. UKE every round looking better and better here. Like you said, you know, it's like opposite day if we were on Bind, where, you know, UKE started super strong, things got a little bit more rough, but instead they were getting folded at the beginning. Now they're really able to turn it up, and it's every round it feels like UKE is able to find somebody out super early. 1 turns to 2, turns to 3, and this round, Jag, I hate to say, is already over if you are a Delaware fan, but if you're a UKE fan, you better be rejoicing like a madman right now. This team has turned the gas on, and they are ready to just storm through the rest of this map.
Could be flawless, could pick up some more orbs. I mean, there's so much they could do right now as the defenders. Don't want to overcommit, don't want to overextend. It looks like Bowie at least is on the chase. Should actually be able to find out exactly where this last member is if they take the right route, but yeah, there it is. And there's the last kill. 3 for Bowie. What more can you ask for? Now, they have turned this from being tied, dead even, to being only 3 rounds away from winning the entire series. Think about that.
And not even allowing Delaware to find a round in the middle there. It has just been UKE ever since the side swap. Their defense has been... I hate to say it because the round just happened, but their defense has been flawless. No pun intended. They have done a phenomenal job coming through and clutching out every single moment they needed to. Jag, your wish coming true, my friend. Take a look at Twisted.
And the Odin, finally. I mean, I actually don't like playing against the Odin, but I do love seeing the strategy around it. Trying to go for that recon, trying to get some information. Not sure what Twisted's doing right there. It looks like they were just taking a momentary preview. They are moving on the map. I was like, did they TC? But it doesn't look like it. Not playing, though, on that B wall like we expect. So I'm just looking at the mini-map. It looks like they're not even going to get a chance to really use this Odin on the point because it looks like it's going to be another A push.
The A push has done them well-ish, as well as you can do when you've lost.
You get plants at least.
Yeah, they've been getting plants. In their current scenario, that's all they can really ask for. I love the hyper-aggressive stim beacon from Safadi. It's going to give them the opportunity to swing in and around the corner. However, Bowie able to get out of dodge. Nobody going to be catching bullets really enough to really make it worth it. Delaware just storming in. We've got the Odin spray and pray from the heavens. Not going to be able to pick up a darn thing quite yet. I feel like nobody's even taken damage yet. All these bullets, and nobody's even been hit by one.
No command already used. Empress pop, but he gets one while it happens. They get the reset. Jamhand getting a bunch of kills on the point.
Uh-oh!
Orbital strike.
Oh, in a fascinating spot. You had a much more conversation of people in heaven and hell there, but Sensor taking out that chamber. Relay is not going to be the hero they need today. That is UKE putting their 11th round away.
I liked all the rhyming there. That was
I didn't even mean to. It just kept happening.
Yeah, you're a poet. You didn't even know it, right?
I'm a poet, and I didn't even know I could rhyme stuff. That's crazy.
And here we are now, 11 rounds to 6. 2 rounds away. That's going to be... Delaware can't buy here. They did commit a little bit. They used the null command and the orbital strike. Going to use the Tour de Force here to try to force something. They're force buying here. This is really important because a lot of their members will not have any economy left. So this is really an all or nothing round. We have seen teams that are able to clutch up in these scenarios, when it's round 12 and they're facing round 13, but only live for a little bit longer after that. This is a very big decision here. They're going to have to use, everything. I think Delaware really has to force, all their offense. Bladestorm as well.
Oh, no!
No tour de force.
How many times is that going to happen? What a solid play every round. That Chamber shows his face. It is taken clean off by that Jet. Just incredible so far. Hopster going to actually choose to get out of the fight. Doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with Bowie.
No, I mean, you really want to. You're not going to win it. Bowie has been absolutely on a roll. Gets another one. 3. It's a 5v1 again. This could be another flawless, and this could be just the absolute nail in the coffin.
I think Bowie's got to be the MVP of this series. I mean, map 1 a little rough, but map 2 and 3, Bowie performing as well as you could on a losing side in a very close map, and then overperforming here. 24 and 11 on Ascent.
Wow, alright, so this is what it comes down to, the decision to try to force everything out there. It's not as bad as I thought it would. They actually do have a little bit to work with here. Hobster is really the one who is suffering the most. Probably not to go for a Spectre or a Bulldog at best. But at least, most people can buy on their team. However, I mean, you look at what's on the other side. An Operator, an Odin, 3 Vandals, full armor. Economies, the worst one is 6,400 right now. Even if they do lose this round, UK has a lot to work with in the bank. And right now, Delaware, they're playing for their life.
Delaware playing for their life indeed, Jack. There is 1 round left. Every round we play until the bitter end is going to be the technical last round, but with Bowie going down early.
Finally cost Bowie.
The power player taken offline we just talked about. 24 and 11 turns to 24 and 12. Doesn't get to do a darn thing here in this round. If Delaware is going to turn this around, here is their time to shine. Twisted, though, has been able to tie it up. Nagwen takes out Brown Balla as well, and Jag, UKY are 3 eliminations away from, I'm not going to call it a reverse sweep. Things were a little sloppy in the middle there. There was a lost map, but still, this team, they have shown up on Ascent.
The in-between sweep? I don't know. There's got to be some way to phrase it.
The half sweep.
The half sweep. Let's go over that. The ultimate still online, Bladestorm. I'm just actually going to use as a counter measurement after that one was thrown out. I think it connected at the end, but it only hits 1. Okay, they can't take their time. They got to go in. That's 1. 2 more to go.
2 to go, and it is all over for Delaware. They're going to have to clutch 2 eliminations each, technically speaking, but as it is going to be a clean elimination from Nagwen. Let's put up our 07s here for Delaware as UKY Sports brings the heat on Ascent to walk away 2-1 on the series.
Defenders win.
This series, it was like a conundrum of itself. It started out and ended the same way, with one team getting a lead, and then that lead completely imploding and getting close, and then it going the other way. And in the middle is just a very close fought map. So it's like every map was just a different stage of how this series went. I loved it. I mean, again, it's a shame that there are so many, kind of misplays on the side of Kentucky, especially on that Haven map. But here they make up for it. Here they get the momentum back. Their star players really start to look like themselves again. And at the end of the day, they just ended up outshining once they swapped sides. Defense was their strong point, like it was on Bind. Ascent was their map to win, and they won it pretty. In the most, I think, one-sided scoreline, right? It was 13-6 at the end of the day. They just ran with it after halftime. That's insane.
Absolutely, and that, like you said, I think if they can clean up their Haven, that was obviously kind of their weak spot. If they clean that up, I think that is a team that could be technically unstoppable. I mean, what a performance on Bind. What a performance on Ascent. And Haven falls short, but by a little bit. I feel like we've kind of forgotten that part. They lost, 13-11, right? They lose by the skin of their teeth there as well. So
also, they also stopped their losing streak. That's another thing to point out, because they were coming into this 2 games lost in a row. So now that skid stops, get back into winning ways.
They're turning up the gas. They're ready to bring the heat. But, folks, because we went to map 3 and because my grocery store closes in 30 minutes, we are going to have to skip the interview, unfortunately. A huge congratulations to Kentucky for a big turnaround. Like we said, there's some stuff to work on, but when that team gets those cracks out of the armor, that's going to be a team that is truly a force to be reckoned with. Thank you so much, both teams, for coming out tonight. Thank you, Delaware. Thank you, Kentucky. And thank all of you for watching. Shout out Chad Lantis, the observer in the background. And shout out Leighton, our wonderful producer. We love you all very much. Please check your posture, drink some water. Don't forget to love each other, and we'll see you guys next week.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother.
I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 Wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing!
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 Classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big.